scored in the first 2 minutes of the game. But leading the fight back was the NHL's old man, Chico Rex, who looked strong between the pipes, stopping Richie Crum, Mike Bossy, and 25 other Islanders shots, and the Flyers would go on to win 4-2. In a rare 9-4 pacing in Philadelphia, the Islanders lost earlier in the season when Dave Poulin and Tim Kerr led an explosion, scoring 22 seconds apart. Fans would see not only the two-score hat trick, but also watch the intense type of game that usually unfolds when these Patrick Division rivals meet. A win this evening would give the Flyers a weekend sweep and would seem to be an insurmountable 19-point division lead. It's Flyers Islanders next.
He's 11 losses and 2 ties and a 3.1 goals against average. In the net for the Flyers, Ron Hextall. With 23 victories, 9 losses and 2 ties and a 2.74 goals against average. And now the voice of the Flyers, Gene Hart.
And I'm just thinking, Dave Newell is now in his 20th year of officiating, and there were a time when you were playing, Eddie and Bobby, in the early 70s that you would have sworn he'd never make it alive to the 80s.
We're still wondering how.
All right, Derek Smith out with Kerr and Poulin, back with McCrimmon and Howe, and the Islanders counter with Makela, Brent Sutter, and Pat Flatley defensively. They have Conroy out with Thomas Johnson. Play in front of the net. Whoa, right on. And Derek Smith slammed it in the crease, but Rudy had it smothered all the way. So the Flyers bid to strike early, and the puck is loose in center ice, and Derek Smith turns into the zone. He's grabbed by Thomas Johnson, and the Islanders put up at center, deflected deep in the Philadelphia end by Davey Poulin, and now the Islanders bring out Ari Hanpa along with LaFontaine and Trottier in the absence of Mike Bossy. He has back problems. Flyers working in the near corner. Kerr offensive left side in front, but there were 4 Islanders in the slot area, and it was picked off and sent by LaFontaine to center ice. Marsh back on the defense with Kjell Samuelsson, and the Flyers chip in, and now out comes Tocchet along with Glenn Seabrook and Peter Zezel. There was a dump off the side of the net by Morrow, picked up in the corner, sent toward the net by Philadelphia's Tocchet. Zezel puts it out in front, and it's whacked away from Rudy, and the Flyers aggressively going into the Islander zone, and LaFontaine chips it all the way down. It rolls and skips in on the Hextall. After it is Hanpa, and the Flyers work it up to Seabrook on a right wing pass. He eludes. Tocchet goes all the way down over the Islander goal line, and we'll have our first stoppage on the icing after 1 minute and 23 seconds of scoreless play.
Scratches tonight as we take a look at the Islanders. As Gene mentioned, Mike Bossy's been bothered with that bad back, so they rested him tonight. Ari Hanpa, just an extra man for these Islanders. The Flyers are without a number of players. As you see here, Brown, Crossman, who took a shot at his knee last night. They're just electing to sit him out tonight. Brian Propp, Sinisalo, Stanley, and Ron Sutter, all injured.
For Doug Crossman, it's the second game he missed this year, out with a little flu. Early December contest here with St. Louis.
We can't call him Iron Man anymore.
No. Yeah, he hit the 200 game and then missed one. All right, Flyers tied up in their own defensive left corner. The puck kicks away from Seabrook, who has a hold of the Islanders' Gordy Dineen, who picked up the game's first goal last night in the first 2 minutes of play. Flyers coming on, of course, to win. There's a tap through nicely down that left side. Zezel should get a one-timer from the angle, and Rudy kicks it away. Rudy has a 5-2-1 lifetime record against Philadelphia with a 3.65. Big check on Samuelsson at center ice by Dwayne Sutter. All those who have played second fiddle to Smith have had winning records against Philadelphia. Melanson for one, Rudy for another, and Smith himself, who's been the architect of so many victories in the playoffs, has not had fared well against the Flyers. 11-26-4. Puck around behind Hextall. There is LaFontaine, offensive left corner, trying to center. It's there. They whack at it. We're going to get a high stick violation and a Islander offensive left circle face-off. 2:21 gone first period. Shots 2-0 Philadelphia. No penalties.
Terry Simpson, the head coach of the New York Islanders, his first season in the National League. Former teammate of ours, Eddie. He was a junior teammate of Ross Lonsbury back in Brandon. The two played junior hockey, and that's going back a way long time ago, probably before the red line was put back in. Washington's in New Jersey. Big Patrick Division game. Detroit, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, in Buffalo, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Quebec, and Chicago. Edmonton really playing good hockey of late, especially on the road.
8 in a row on the road. Eddie, was the Brandon team always called the Wheat Kings and Juniors?
As far as I know, they were.
There's a kick play out at the point. Flyers take it, and Eklund turns. Coming along with Mellenby and McCrimmon down that right side. He's got a drop pass, but offside Philadelphia. As it looked pretty, but it turned ugly on the stoppage of play.
Actually, it was a well-conceived play. The only thing is that Scott Mellenby was trying to break through on the left side, and it was a 2-on-3 situation, and I don't think Mellenby saw McCrimmon or even coming up very quickly from his defense
What happened in that
position.
play, Bobby, is Curran made the wrong play. He just turned aside and went where the puck carrier is going, or the puck carrier was going, and the trailer was wide open. He should have just stayed and held his position.
Right, Kerr on one side, Lauer on the other, centered by LaFontaine with Curran and Johnson, and the Flyers have McCrimmon and Howe, and up front Dobbin with Craven and Eklund. There's a puck popped up in the Islanders' defensive left corner. Curran tries to cut it out. Dobbin keeps it in the corner, wrapped up by Lauer. In turn, Curran prevents Craven from doing anything. Flyers right out in front, poked away quickly by Rudy with a quick jab. Flyers working into the slot to the side of the net, but Dobbin is pushed off by Johnson, and Curran carries the puck through at center ice, has it taken away, and then kicks it through at the Flyer line. Rolls in, and Howe pumps it out, and Eklund right wings it at center, and it was tapped away from Dobbin by Craven, and then sent in deep by Philadelphia's McCrimmon, and now the Flyers bring out Carson along with Dobbin, who's on with Knockbauer, as the Islanders try to find Flatley at center ice. Skips off the stick in on Hextall, wheels it out to Hospodar, and he ices it. And we'll have another stoppage of play after Putvin returns behind his own net for the no, they let play go on. Why again, I'll ask later. Into the Philadelphia zone, a drop pass. There, beautiful play by Mackel. He's got all alone in front. Shot, and Hextall beats him as he went in and around the Philadelphia defense. Past Hospodar, cut in from the left corner, went from Hextall's right to his left, tried to get the opening, and Hextall stayed with him all the way. But you could see that opening for Makela right at the blue line. Now the Flyers lose the puck in the zone, and here comes Flatley up the middle. He's got Makela on his right, into the zone, drops to Makela, a wraparound behind Hextall. Nobody on the far side except Carson fails to get it out, and Potvin bullet from the left point is grabbed about knee-high by goaler Hextall. 4:10 gone into a scoreless first period from the Spectrum, the Flyers and the New York Islanders.
For the Islanders is Mikko Makela moving in deep, but Ron Hextall just stayed right with him, and that's the advantage as well as being 6'3", because even when you're down low in that crouch, you still cover a great deal of the top part of the net. And Makela had nowhere to go with that backhand try.
It'll be Kerr against Trottier. Flyers defensive right circle, one at the point by Crom. Puts it around behind the Philadelphia net, trying to dig it up on the near side, and doing so is Trottier at the point. But there's a collision, and it's kicked by Trottier into the neutral zone. He grabs it, turns it down that left side for Crom, puts it into Philadelphia, and the Flyers Howe jams it right back out. Then a play by Deneen is broken up, and Philadelphia's pulling rag into the left, and the Islanders had the big blue wall at the blue line. Flyers go in and have to chase. Potvin falls down in the puck. Philadelphia out of that corner in front, and Rudy got a stick out there before Poulin could redirect. Flyers then pump it in behind the net. Kerr looks, blocked off in front, and it got through Rudy, but Philadelphia...
The stick is broken, Gene.
Yeah.
He broke it in slashing Kerr.
But Derek Smith went behind and was in no position to make the play after the stick break. We get a stoppage now. 4:52 gone, no score.
He slashed at Kerr as he was going around the net, broke his stick on him. Now, Billy Smith broke his stick on Kerr last night in slashing, and you wonder why the calls aren't being made against this big fella. And we talked about it yesterday, Jane, because he is so strong. It comes out here, Kerr comes out. It happened before then, just before he went around behind, as he skated in front of Kelly Rudy, he slashed at him. Even prior, before the puck got behind him, but Kerr tried to get it out in front and almost snuck it through, and nobody was in there, as the Flyers are very conscious of keeping that third man high when 2 men are in deep, and you really cut down on the 2-on-1 and 3-on-2 breaks the other team gets when you play that way.
The Islanders come Bassin at center ice along with Dwayne Sutter, and an offensive right corner dump. Hextall is there to clear it out off Zezel's skate into the neutral zone. Conroy is back with Janssen, and up front again Bassin with Gilbert and Dwayne Sutter. The Flyers defensively have Hospodar on with Marsh, and up front Carson with Tocchet and Peter Zezel. Puck in the Islander zone. Gilbert tries to slash it out. It's kept in by Zezel. Blocks with his skate. Picks it up along the right boards. Has the option coming out of the corner. Cross ice pass to Marsh. Deep in on the left corner. Trying to pick up his position on the near side. Nobody's doing it. Now Marsh gets back. Tocchet puts it in front. Right there was Lindsey Carson to try to direct. just tipped wide of the net, past Rudy, and the Islanders cover. And Conroy gets it up through on the right wing to Dwayne Sutter. An offensive left corner dump, slowed down and picked up and sent around the far side to Tocchet by Hextall, and then put by Tocchet from the right defensive corner up the middle and into center ice. The Islanders without Bossy and getting burned, you can imagine they're going to play a very tight-knit style here tonight. Hextall has it, tries to clear. It's off the stick of an Islander, poked in on the net, and we get a whistle. It's a high stick violation. John D'Amico is pointing to Kenny Morrow. We have 6:05 gone and a scoreless first period from the Spectrum. Flyers and the Islanders. And LaFontaine along with Curran and Morrow, and the Flyers have Eklund with Mellanby and Craven, McCrimmon and Howe. Face off just outside the Flyer line along their left wing. Out goes LaFontaine, and now Brad Lauer will take the draw against Eklund, who had 2 more assists last night in that victory. Here comes Eklund turning away at center ice. At the Islander line, dumps it in the all chase. Rudy looks to play it off the glass far side and gets it through into center ice, and then McCrimmon does a nice job of detaining the Islanders' pursuit. That was Brad Lauer, and that allows Philadelphia to cut back, pick up the puck, and then Howe tried to get it past LaFontaine, couldn't. Goes up to the far side, and it does carry him into center ice. Curran retreats to his own line, cautiously pivots, puts it at center, and then McCrimmon took it right back in with Philadelphia's Mellanby about 25 feet in the zone.
Much more spirited play by Philadelphia this first period, as they a little bit different than the yesterday afternoon's first period play. Brian Curran, the man they received from Boston and as a free agent. We talked with John Potvin before the game, Eddie, and he was saying that he's been a big addition to this club. He seems to add a lot more muscle, and the Islanders aren't getting pushed around like they were in the last couple of years, and I find that hard to believe.
Well, Potsy watches him, every game, so he's got a pretty good view of how he plays game in, game out.
I mean, I find it hard to believe that they were pushed around in the last 2 years.
Of course, they paid the price. That arbitration, they had to give up Paul Boudelier, who's had a good season with the Bruins. Near side, Glenn Seabrook on, works the puck up on the left wing at center ice, feathers a pass smartly to McCrimmon, who chops it into the zone, left to Rudy, puts it around, Flyers pick it off, behind the net. Seabrook then runs into traffic, is taken off, 2 Flyers, 2 Islanders down. That allows Flatley to bring it up at center ice on the left wing. He's got Leiter, the defenseman, on the far side, carries it into the right corner, looks to center, it goes behind the net. The Islanders in there, 2 Philadelphians, 2 New Yorkers. They battle for the puck, still there. Seabrook behind the net along with Howe. It's kicked out to Flatley. Back to the point. Dineen goes to the forehand. He's got a screener. Blocked off nicely by Howe. Can't get out with it. And Dineen puts it in front. Knocked down. Cleared right out in front. Hot point shot. Save. Off Sutter. The rebound is poked into the far corner by Philadelphia's Kerr to the point. Leiter's shot. That's deflected wide. And now Seabrook to the near corner. Looks to lift it high in the air and gets it over the outstretched hand of Makela. And the Islanders close, but no cigar. Now up the middle, a bullet. That time by Dineen as the Flyers were changing. And he found a seam just inside the blue line. Flyers to the near boards, poke it up to Marsh, and Marsh away at center. It skips through everyone. That'll be an icing or an offside, depending upon who gets there first. And no, they say Derek Smith was onside. Works it around behind the net. Boom. We're going to have a penalty against Potvin for taking down Mellanby. It will be the first of the game. Flyer power play coming up. 12:02 remaining first period, and there is no score.
This Potvin picks up the first penalty of the game as he pulled down Scott Mellanby at the side of the net. He'll pick up a hooking call at 7:58. Just prior to that, though, Brent Sutter had an excellent opportunity as the Flyers' 2 defensemen were out off the side. Sutter was all alone, and he had the time in the world. It seemed like he had all 4 corners, and Hextall just beat him on that opportunity.
Well, Potvin, who's had 1,000 points, has also had a share. He's up over 1,300 penalty minutes lifetime. Islanders win that draw and shoot it all the way down. Out killing the penalties, they have Crom, along with Greg Gilbert, and defensively Conroy with Dineen. Islanders, when the Flyers made it 4-2 yesterday, almost scored shorthanded, and that was a Crom combination. Puck off the Dashers. Behind Rudy, kicked out in front instead of going around behind. He was vulnerable there for a second, but the Islanders covered and no damage. Philadelphia on the power play against the Islanders here in 4 games are 5 for 20. Puck wound in. Rudy slows it down. It'll be picked up and slashed at near side by Deneen. Kept in, though, by Philadelphia. Eklund to Zezel. Back along the near side to Howe. Into Zezel. Skips through him behind the net to Eklund. Reverse to Zezel. Zezel behind. Back to Eklund. Out of that left corner to Zezel. He's got a man in front. The puck is kicked away and fed in the corner by Crom. Trying to clear it out and doing so nicely is Steve Conroy. We are ticking down to 11 minutes remaining in the first period. 1 minute on the penalty to Dennis Potvin as Philadelphia taps it free at center. Read by Brent Sutter down that left wing against Howe. Can't turn in on the net. Is bumped off and the play taken away by Murray Craven. Craven right winging a pass. Finds Kerr at center ice. Blocked off to Seabrook. Back to Kerr. Can't penetrate the zone as the Islanders proving tough for Philadelphia right now. Have not worked up. They have had 2 shots, but they came early. Now Mellenby up through at center ice. At the line, a wraparound. Rudy doesn't slow it down. It'll be picked up at the point by Craven to McCrimmon and then skips off McCrimmon's stick to center ice. 23 seconds remaining on the power play, and the Flyers have yet to bag a shot in on Rudy and actually have not gotten the puck set up with any strength.
Side.
Puck in the zone, shot on the net, save made by Hextall when the Flyers are on the power play. Finally, McCrimmon has it with 8 seconds left. One last rush. There's an open man through, and he tried to tap back to Kerr to Seabrook, but it was blocked off by Morrow. The Islanders ice it just as Potvin comes out of the box. They had Kerr there, and he tried to give and go with Seabrook. Didn't come to fruition, so the Flyers go 0 on the first power play of the game. Marsh lifting it out into the New York zone, sending it deep after it blazing is Lindsey Carson. The Islanders throw it up on their own left side aimlessly. Conroy is bumped as the Flyers now trying to get a little body action into the play. Goes back to the point. Hospodar's shot. Bullet from the right boards. Gets it on. And it's grabbed by Rudy for the stoppage of play. With 9:33 remaining first period from the Spectrum, the Flyers and Islanders are scoreless. At hiatus 58. Philadelphia with Pullen, Tocchet, and Carson. Hospodar and Marsh, offensive right circle. Islanders control as they have Trottier out there, along with Hunpa and LaFontaine. There's an icing, and this time the Islanders are the culprits. Touched up by Marsh. Flyers are in Chicago Wednesday evening at 8:30. Back here next Friday with the Blackhawks at 7:30. And then next Saturday at the Meadowlands against New Jersey.
We've mentioned the absence of Bossy, and I'm pretty sure that Trottier is going to miss him. They played together for a good part of their careers. And I'm sure that the Islander power play will miss the big right winger with the big loaded gun.
I'll see.
9 straight years of 50 or more. Nobody's ever done that. He's 29, and if injuries don't keep him out, he could do it for a 10th year, and that would be quite a legacy to set. To the near side, LaFontaine forecheck, has the puck taken away, offensive corner. Pullen goes around to the offensive right corner, and then Trottier either overskated or left that deliberately for Conroy as the Flyers get it back. And here come the Islanders 2-on-1, and then a quick outlet by Trottier missed LaFontaine when it appeared the Flyers might have been in trouble. The Islanders keep it in along the near side. There's a play going toward the net by Janssen, broken down nicely by Philadelphia. Pullen is pulled down by Janssen, and the Flyers just working it into center ice. Skips through Tocchet, and it's played by Crom to Conroy, left winging it through past the breaking winger Crom. Flyers pick it up in the corner. Hospodar a little deep past Crom's forechecking. Outlet smartly with poise to Derek Smith and through. Tocchet at center ice, challenged by Johnson. Takes Tocchet off the puck, screens him off, and the Islanders just flip it away at center ice. Shots so far with 8.5 minutes left are 5-3 for the Islanders. There, Howe breaking through. He gets in right out in front, centering pass, and the one man there, Derek Smith, had gone past and nobody else there. Then a centering play off the left boards to Howe at the point. Drills it in on the net, and right there to try to make a tip was Derek Smith. The Islanders break off and come to center 3-on-2. At the line, Gilbert into the corner, but offside to his far left, I believe, was either Dwayne Sutter or Bob Basson.
Boy, that's inexcusable in a play like that. A 3-2 rush up ice. You got to stay inside, otherwise you're not going to get an opportunity to make a play in the goal.
I think a lot of times too is the puck carrier slows down at the blue line and starts thinking about making the play. You should have a pretty good idea before you hit that blue line, and before you slow down, you must gain control of that offensive zone. They slow down at the blue line, and you just slow up even a fraction of a step or stride, and those two wingers are barreling in. They're going to go offside every time.
Face-off just outside the Flyer line. Gilbert on that left side had 31 goals in 83-84 and then had the injury and has not ever come back to that same level of proficiency.
He really had a bad knee injury,
Yeah.
Gene.
He had looked in future reading of this club. Flatley a lot of goals, LaFontaine and Gilbert. And not yet true. Now Deneen along the near side keeps it in. Zezel tries to slap it out and does to center ice. As again the Flyers are having up there. McCrimmon breaks through. Surrounded by 5 Islanders shot. And it was off the stick of Rudy. Kicks off the ledge behind him and then over the glass. And the Flyers will get an offensive left circle faceoff as the fans applaud somebody who made that catch on the fly barehanded.
Cyril Samuelson received a cut on the nose. Mainly, probably happened when Dwayne Sutter drove him into the boards by the penalty box, but he's getting repairs now. He should be back. But at this point, he's not. Kenny Morrow was scratched yesterday against the Flyers. Back in action tonight, seeing that Mike Bossy is not playing tonight. He always got the bad knees, and I think that's going to really shorten his career.
Still holds that trivia record of having been the only player to win Olympic gold and the Stanley Cup in a span of 3 months in the same year. And actually, in his first 4 years in the league, he had 4 cups. There's a shot right on by Eklund, and great save, an in-tight save by Rudy.
Talk about the importance of the face-offs. Well, a good opportunity here the Flyers just had. On net was just right off the face-off. The Flyers' Kerr was able to just gain control of the puck. It's just right in the feet. And all of a sudden, Craven steps around back to Eklund. Eklund takes that shot as he put it through Morrow's legs, using Kenny Morrow as a screen for the goaltender.
Kerr, Craven, Eklund, along with McCrimmon and Howe. LaFontaine the draw for the Islanders. Potvin is out with Morrow. And the Flyers, there's a broken stick belonging to Kerr. He goes to the bench. Craven tries to keep it tied up in that offensive left corner. Does as he gets some help from Eklund. Eklund pushing at LaFontaine. LaFontaine pushing back at Eklund. Dave Newell says play the puck. And it's played to the near side. And it goes right back into another rugby scrum. 3 Flyers, 3 Islanders halfway down that Flyers offensive left board. It kicks out. Back into the corner, and finally Potvin should have access into the neutral zone and doesn't. Kept in by Eklund to Kerr into the left wing corner. It skips past Craven. Eklund behind the net. Avoids the check by Lauer, but the puck then kicks to Lauer. He'll work it up on the left side and through it center right. Nice check there by the Flyers' McCrimmon on LaFontaine. The Flyers jab it in and they all pursue Craven along with Eklund behind the net. Morrow is tied up by Craven, loses the puck as he was a little bit slow in maneuvering the puck. Finally gets it away from Rudy with 6:40 remaining in a scoreless first period. And Morrow up the middle of the ice at the Flyer line. Penetrates and then couldn't, as going in before him was Alan Kerr. So Morrow turns around at center to Curran. Curran goes into the zone. And there's a knockdown. And the puck goes behind Hextall. Tries to snake it free. Does not. The Islanders look to center. Boom! Big check by Hospodar. And the first really big hit of the period as he took out Kerr. And the Flyers trying to maneuver that puck. We're going to get a penalty now against Philadelphia. Stuffer in front is shot by Kerr. And Hextall a dandy save. But all of that is going to result now in an elbow penalty against Hospodar at 13:51. Penalties even at 1. Islander power play coming up. There is no score in the game.
Penalty for Philadelphia will go to Eddie Hospodar, elbowing the call. 13:51. It occurred in front of the net when the Islanders were really pressing around. He got the shot. It wasn't an elbow really, it was more of a glove, but he picks up the elbowing call from the referee Newell. And the Islanders will put their top ranked power play into effect. They only had 2 chances at it yesterday.
Hospodar's elbow's in a funny place, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
Now, see, that would be a penalty description that would have some panache to it. 2 minutes for gloving. Flyers win the draw. Tocchet is on along with Poulin. Challenged as he comes to center by Jonsson and sends it all the way down. That's Tocchet along with Poulin and Kjell Samuelsson back after repairs with Marsh. The Islanders on their first power play as Hospodar now evens the penalties at 1. He has 77 minutes on the air. There goes Flatley penetrating with Dwayne Sutter. He's got Leiter at the near point. Jonsson at the far side to Dwayne Sutter. In front, Brent Sutter back to the point. Jonsson with a drive wide to Hextall, and he poked the rebound away where Flatley was waiting for that carom. Flatley back to the point. Jonsson stops, tries to cut inside Poulin to the near side to Leiter. Back along that far circle. Knocked down and then hand pass to Poulin. Accidentally by Samuelsson, who couldn't reach it himself, so Poulin, rather than risking losing it, touched up for the stoppage with 5.5 minutes remaining in the period. 1:21 on the penalty to Hospodar. The Islanders this year 5 for 18 on the power play against the Flyers.
One thing you can't do is let this Islander club gain your zone when you're shorthanded. They move that puck around so well that it makes it very difficult to try and defense them. So you got to make sure you break them up at the blue line. On that occasion, Flyers had a chance to and backed in.
Big Sammy's got a boo-boo in the beak.
Boo-boo on the beak. Now that's an alliteration.
Never saw a wounded flamingo before.
He's very effective, short-handed. Reason being, with that long reach, the players have to stay even wider, and that's what you like to have. You like to push those players out wide and keep them around the perimeter of that defensive four that you set up. And with that long reach, they have to go even wider to keep control of the puck, or else he's going to poke check it away.
Zezel to draw, wrap around to the near side. LaFontaine couldn't block and actually deflected it through Zezel and his point man Jönsson all the way down. Zezel out with Poulin, Marsh back with Samuelsson. And the Islanders have Potvin on along with Jönsson at the points, and up front they've got Trottier with LaFontaine and Makela. Makela had the best opportunity of the game when he broke in along that left side right in front on Hextall and was beaten early on. 5 minutes left in the period, no score, 50 seconds on the power play, and the Flyers again showing their dearth of offense for the 5th straight game. Only 4 shots in the first period yesterday and only 4 so far here. There goes Trottier down in the corner, swept away by Samuelsson, and then it's Marsh around the near boards and all the way past Jönsson and down. Now Rudy tries to get in the act on a Flyer line change by getting up to Potvin and through down that left wing, but Trottier is cut off by McCrimmon, and that allows Craven to try to get it out. Once can't, and then the second time slaps it down the ice to the left of Kelly Rudy. The Islanders with 15 seconds on the power play. They were 0 for 2 yesterday. Up on the left side into center ice, tapped away, but the Islanders pick it up. And penetrating is Flatley, but bumps into his own player. LaFontaine is at center ice. Tocchet was involved with Dennis Potvin. The Islanders have to retreat in their own zone. Out of the penalty box now comes Hospodar, and no cigar either for New York. The Islanders penetrate. There's a nice tap away by McCrimmon. Gets a feed. Give and go around behind his net, right side from Howe. Trying to find Howe at center. Skips through him to the New York line, where Flatley waits. Plays to Brent Sutter. Flatley out with Lauer and Brent Sutter. Down that right side, Leiter tries to penetrate. Poked away behind the net to Flatley on a Flyer poke check. And grabbed and put up on the near point. Kept in by Dineen. Shot toward the net. Off the skate of Philadelphia's Howe, and it slides through the screen set up at the point by Derek Smith, who steals. He's got McCrimmon with him. Shoots right on from the slot. And the Islanders, Brent Sutter gets it out of the slot to the left side. And up ice comes Leiter, and he ices it, and that's what the call will be, as he definitely wanted to get a line change here. With 3:20 remaining first period, penalty box is empty. The Islanders and Flyers at the Spectrum are scoreless. A lot of the drama and intensity has been removed from the game. So they just,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, somewhat, because these two clubs always play well against each other.
I mean,
always go hard.
You got long memories, boy. There's an awful lot of past history that has to be made up.
yeah, but I guarantee you that history plus a 2-point lead for one of these two clubs would put a lot more oomph, maybe into the crowd more than the team. Puck behind the Islander net, wound up by Curran to the near side, picked off at the point, sent in, but not deep enough by Zezel, and then it's sent away by the Islanders. Zezel penetrates through to Kerr, along the near side into the corner, worked on by Dwayne Sutter in front. Fed out to the point, and Hospodar puts it right back to Kerr in this corner. Throws it in on the net. Boy, he hit the point of the crossbar and the upright on the near side flush on. Caromed right back to him off the skate behind the net, where Dwayne Sutter fell on him for the stoppage of play.
Gene, I'd like to just take this chance to say hello to the Toby Farms Athletic Association. I attended their sports banquet this afternoon. There's an awful lot of loyal Flyer fans, as well as they watch an awful lot of the games on PRISM. Flyers had a couple of opportunities here. Timmy Kerr around the outside just gets the puck off of in front. The puck is bouncing around. Eventually Kerr gets back up after being knocked down, goes back, picks up the puck again, puts it towards the net. It was off to an angle. Rudy was able to make that save. The puck was bouncing around, but Timmy Kerr was shooting the puck from a pretty difficult angle, just trying to get it on the net, with possibly a deflection going out in front for a teammate to bang it home.
By far and away the most prolific scorer among the players involved in this series. He has 6 goals. The only one approaching him is Bossy, who's not playing tonight, who had 3 in the previous 4 games, but they all came in one contest. That 6-5 Flyer win early on at the Nassau Coliseum. 2:35 left first period. Wound around to the far side in the Philadelphia zone by McCrimmon, taken away by Crom. Taken back, there's a trip up, and it goes to the point. Jönsson looks, lost the shot, as he was almost harassed by his teammate Conroy. Kicks back at the point. Flyers have it there, and Eklund through at center. Carson has to rally. Oh, he could have pushed it through on the left wing for Dobbin. He'd have been in alone, but that's a woulda, shoulda, coulda player, and it wasn't made. And the Flyers now in their own zone. Up on the left side to Dobbin. Dobbin a reverse down that right side, and here comes Eklund into the zone. Swings wide and shoots about hip high on Rudy, who grabs and hangs on as he had no outlet. I think it's going to be called.
You're right,
as
Gene.
he did have a whole open side here, and that's going to be a delay against Kelly Rudy, and he now picks up 24 and 25 penalty minutes. How about that? He's shown himself to be as feisty as Billy Smith.
The Flyers had the opportunity off to the side when the penalty was called. Potvin is arguing along with Trottier. Sutter. But the goaltender, Rudy's going to pick up a 2-minute minor. Play was off to the outside. Eklund just wrists the puck up high. Easy save. Catching in the catching glove. Looking around. And the referee figured he had enough time to make the play and just hung on. So as a result, the Flyers will have their second power play opportunity of the period. 2 minutes remaining in the first period, scoreless here at the Spectrum.
The penalties are 2-1. Rudy now with 25 minutes. Eddie, the Flyers are following a pattern here, as we mentioned. Against the Islanders, they had 4 shots. Thursday against Montreal, 5 in the first period. And then against Washington, they only had 5 in the first period. They have 6 here today.
That is something we're not accustomed to seeing.
No, usually they start blitzing here, but that's all right. Just making an observation rather than a criticism.
Yeah, it's a result that counts.
When you're 6-0-1 in your last 7. Well, here's a surprise. The Oilers, who rallied last night from the 3-1 deficit at Toronto to win 7-4, are facing that same deficit in the first period at Buffalo 3-1 Sabres. The penalty will be served by Pat LaFontaine. Philadelphia 0-for-1 on the advantage, and on the year 5-for-21 against the Islanders. Scott Arniel scoring, and Logan getting his 6th. That's 2, and Stu Kulak got his 3rd for Edmonton. We don't have the 3rd, and Andrechuk got the 14th. Those are the point shot by Howe, and that was blocked off by Brent Sutter, as Howe maybe waited a fraction too long to unload. We have 2 minutes remaining in the period, so the penalty, if need be, will go right to the end. The penalty coming at 18 minutes. Play to Eklund at center ice, and the Flyers lose it. Slap back. Flatley takes it in the zone. Shot wide of the net, but Hextall reached out to control and then puts it up, and the Flyers are out of sync. It was a giveaway to the near side to Dineen, and he just goes back the other way. They look for Flatley in front. Shot. That was smothered. Picked up and turned around drive right on, and Hextall the save. He gives it away at the point to Conroy. He's right in at the left circle. Bullet, and got under it, chipped it. So the Flyers again maybe a little bit lethargic with a minute 15 left, as the Islanders had the better of the power play so far. Now Zezel leads against the blue wall. Down in the near side, winds it around behind the net. It'll be picked up by Eklund. He's got a man in front, and he threw it one side of Kerr, and that side was screened off by Trottier, and the puck slides out into center ice. 1 minute remaining in the period, and on the penalty as Eklund penetrates, he's got Daigneault breaking down, and the shot on, and Rudy the save, and Morrow gives it away on the near side to Daigneault. Daigneault hash marks left circle behind the net, skips past Kerr, back to Zezel, who tries to go to Kerr. That's a lackadaisical pass, and the Islanders are able to drill it up ice. In pursuit is Ari Hanpa. Make that Crom, who's out now for Hanpa, along with Gilbert, Morrow, and Potvin. Craven up at center. Throw, and he's got his Seabrook in. Goes to the side of the net. Score! Beautiful play by Glenn Seabrook to Rick Tocchet. And Mr. Seabrook, in his home debut, assists with his first NHL point. Off the carom, past Potvin, was picked up in the zone by Seabrook. He's a left-hand shot down the right wing, let the defenseman go down and just feathered it off the Tocchet to the open net. That's a lovely play to begin your National Hockey League career. For Rick Tocchet, that will be goal number 17, his first power play goal of the year.
Rick Tocchet. The 17th of the season.
17th.
The assist, number 11, Glenn Seabrook.
Seabrook.
And number 30, Craven.
That's easy to figure out. 1936. Flyers' 3rd power play in 2 nights. But geez, that Seabrook just showed so much poise and let a defenseman throw down, swung wide, and then as he drew over Rudy, found Tocchet all alone, and all he had to do was deposit it. Now there's a centering pass. Score by the Islanders by LaFontaine at 19:52. just 16 seconds after the Flyers take the lead. Well, both teams commit cardinal sins, giving goals up in the last half minute of a period. And the Flyers, again, not totally with it, and behind the net, Lauer got it right out in front. LaFontaine all alone had gotten inside his check and drilled it home for the score. So for LaFontaine, that will give him number 14, no correction. It will give him goal number 20. And Lauer will get one assist, and again at 19:52. So the euphoria of the power play goal lasts 16 seconds as we come to the end of the first period. Kerr and Lauer get the assist, the wingmates for Pat LaFontaine. And it came at 19:52. The Flyers goal, Tocchet from Seabrook and Craven at 19:36. The shots, the Islanders 7 and the Flyers 8. New York had 2 of the game's 3 penalties. That's it after 20 minutes of play from the Spectrum. The Philadelphia Flyers won and the New York Islanders won.
Been anything that has really surprised you or amazed you over the first half of the season?
I don't know if there's been a lot. I think the biggest thing is the competitiveness of the league. I see it as being very competitive. You know, our division, of course, is competitive. If you take Philadelphia out, the other teams are very evenly matched or close together, but the whole league is evenly matched, and it seems to me as though if you're not prepared to play your best, you're not going to win the hockey game that night.
You have a young hockey club. In fact, at one time, and if not even now, it's still the second youngest team in the league. Is it tougher to coach when you're in a rebuilding year?
Well, I don't know if that's the real problem. We're having trouble with consistency, and I don't know even if that's because we have a few new players. I think it's a situation of everyone gelling together, you know, to give you the consistency. A lot of times our breakdowns aren't caused by our younger players. Sometimes they are, but I just think that we seem to be going through a phase in the season right now where everything we do doesn't turn out well for us, and when you get into those situations, I think everyone has to look to themselves to work a little bit harder, and pretty soon things will start to break, and then you can regain your confidence and go. But I just see our team right now struggling in a lot of areas.
The stars on the club, and I'm talking Trottier, Bossy, Potvin, were you easily accepted by those 3 players?
Well, it's difficult to say because, you know, you really don't know. I think that it's difficult for them because, you know, Al Arbor was their only coach. He was there for 13 years, and so any kind of a change is going to be very difficult for players that have played, say, 13 years in the league under one coach to try and change it, even the approach to the games and and everything else. And I think that they've accepted it as well as possible, and they've been very supportive, and they've been playing pretty well, actually. You know, we rely on them a lot, and there are times when things don't go their way as any other player, but basically they've I think played pretty well for us.
It's nice to look down the bench though in tight situations and see those 3 out there.
Well, we've been involved in some situations where they've broken the game open for us, and I mean, you keep looking down the bench, and when you get into a tight situation, you will go to them because they've done it before, they've proven they can do it, and they thrive under pressure. I mean, guys like Trotch and Boss really enjoy the pressure of a real key situation in the game.
Well, Terry, I want to thank you very much for stopping by and chatting with us.
Thanks very much.
Terry Simpson, our guest, and he'll receive a gift certificate to the Little Inn, where consistently good food, portions which are satisfying, and prices which encourage your frequent return will always prevail.
Craven the assists, and 16 seconds later at 19:52, LaFontaine out of the penalty box is 20th from Alan Kerr and Brad Lauer. 1-1 the score, 8-7 the shots. Philadelphia, the Islanders, 2 of the 3 penalties. Washington at New Jersey scoreless in the first. We'll come back with the rest of the scoreboard as play is on here. Rudy to the right, Hextall to the left. And play is on at the Philadelphia line, broken up as Kerr is out there along with Eklund. The Islanders penetrate flatly with a ripping shot from the inner arc of the left circle. The save is made. Kerr spun around as he fought for the rebound. Flatley takes it into the corner right out in front to Brent Sutter. Broken away and then kicked by Sutter into center ice, and here comes Howe down that right side. Going to try to turn Conroy around behind the net. Drops it for Eklund in front, trying to find Kerr. And the Islanders take it and slam it all the way down. It'll be a routine chase for an icing by Howe, who again is looking for professional player point number 1,000. Came into the league as a teenager in the WHA with his dad and his brother. Marty at Houston with the Arrows, and then with New England, and then of course acquired in the trade. Detroit at Pittsburgh, no score yet. First period at Buffalo, Sabres 4, Oilers 2. Minnesota at Winnipeg, and Quebec at Chicago, those not to start for about another 25 minutes. 1-1 the score here. Derek Smith on with Zezel and Kerr. Marsh back with Samuelson. Philadelphia has Crossman out tonight. Bossy out for the Islanders of the main performers. And Trottier will take the draw against Kerr. Offensive right side for Philadelphia. The linesman Jim Christensen on with his colleague John D'Amico and referee Dave Newell. The Islanders get it out to center. Marsh retreats, and then as he tried to flip it past the on-charging LaFontaine, puts it in the penalty box on the far side. Flyers with Chicago, well, John D'Amico, 23 years in the league. 2 of them as a referee. He's 49. He's the oldest in active service. He hails from Toronto, and he's as strong as any linesman or maybe one of the most of the players in the league. He's an ox. Not mentally, just physically. Pretty good guy, John. Tough demeanor. And he brings credit upon his profession. Face off at center ice. Shoveled through into the Flyer zone by Trottier. Fights past Howe, but then Howe sweeps it away. And Derek Smith tries to outlet, blocked, but Howe is in there to poke it to center ice. Covered by Zezel through at the Islander line. Down into the right wing corner, can't get past Leader. Spins away from a check and thrown at him by the Islanders. And they take the puck away, come to the near side, try to come out. But it's blocked, and then Kerr had to go off the skates. The Islanders tried to go head-manning at center for LaFontaine. Philadelphia picks it off and then has their pass blocked. As here comes Kerr trying to go 1-on-4. Drives it off the left glass in the Islanders zone. It caroms up into the seats. As both teams still partially out of sync and not working at best game efficiency. Chicago is the next Flyer game there at the stadium next Wednesday. Back here with the Blackhawks Friday night. And then next Saturday at New Jersey against the Devils. Philadelphia keeps Marsh out and teams him with Hospodar now. Craven, Tocchet, and Lindsey Carson, who's going to take the wing on this position with Craven at center ice. Going against Basson, Gilbert. And on the far side, Dwayne Sutter. And Curran back with Morrow has the puck behind the net up on the near side. Boom. There's a big check thrown on Hospodar by Gilbert, a standoff as the puck slides past both of them over the Flyer goal line. Marsh around to the left side, off the glass, and it caroms through at center ice. But Gilbert did a nice job of continually hooking Craven's stick so he couldn't pick up the puck. And the Islanders, Dwayne Sutter, pass, Tocchet into the zone, left side to Gilbert. Hold, shovels it through, backhand shot, wide of the net, off the play by Dwayne Sutter, almost caromed it home off Basson, who was in front being worked on by Marge. Flyers back, Tocchet, an offensive left corner dump. Trickles behind Rudy, up on the near side, and Hospodar gambles to keep it in along the near side. Does, but no Flyer puck control. The Islanders take it, slam it all the way down. It's going to trickle right on the carom on Hextall, who's going to make the play out himself on the left wing, and through comes Eklund. Drive, save, rebound by Tocchet. Looks in front, slapped that by Carson. Eklund in the corner, drives it off the backside of the net, as Hextall saw the line change and caught the Islanders a little bit off, then set up that play by Philadelphia, their best offensive thrust. Now there goes Marsh to the far side. He and LaFontaine go for the puck. They both miss. Then on the second try, Marsh drives it in deep where New York controlled. They give it away to the point. McCrimmon is shot on. Right there was Mellanby trying to deflect. Eklund puts it off the right shoulder of Kelly Rudy.
The thing about Rudy was that he kept his concentration on the puck, and that's such a key for a goalie.
Shot in on Rudy. Oh, we're going to have a penalty against Deneen for just pulling the legs out, and again, believe it or not, from Peter Zezel. And Bobby, that's the 5th time in 2 nights that the Islanders have given up a power play on a foul against Zezel.
You find so many times, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Eddie, with a lot of these players, they don't seem to take a look around and see what's happening or see what's going on from away from the play. Deneen was late in reacting towards that loose puck, didn't see what was happening on the boards, and by that time Zezel had good position on him. He was going to beat him to the puck. Deneen tried to hook him and slow him down, did it too well. Zezel went down, and now the penalty occurs. Hooking's the call. It comes at 3:11 of the second period to give Philadelphia its 3rd power play. They've called it high sticking rather than hooking.
Also, the only goal the Flyers have scored this so far this game was on the power play. That's Tocchet, his 17th of the year.
Deneen, 76 minutes on the air. The Islanders with 3 of the game's 4 penalties. Philadelphia 1 for 2 on the night, 6 for 22 on the air. Brent Sutter will be out there trying to kill the penalty for the Islanders, along with Pat Flatley, Morrow, and Kerr. The Flyers go Kerr, Eklund, Seabrook, Howe, and Zezel at the right point. Offensive left circle, linesman Jim Christensen. Puck goes off to Morrow, and he slams it all the way down. For the Islanders, they have 5 shorthanded goals, 3 of them from Brent Sutter, who took that face-off. Outlet upper left ice. Here comes Howe, rolling it through to Kerr, slams it off a skate, kept in by Eklund and driven around behind the net off the left corner. Morrow digs it out, wraps it up to the point. Nice check in there by Eklund, gives it away to Howe. He's in, shot right on, and Rudy just reached down with the left glove as Seabrook was kept off one side and Morrow kept Kerr off the other.
They've done that very well, the Islander defense, especially when they've been a man short. They're letting that point man walk in and take the shot, hoping that their goaltender's quick enough, which Rudy has been, to get that shot. Now they're just clearing the sides away, and especially when you have Tim Kerr out there, they're making sure that there's a guy right on him, and they just pay strict attention to him. Patty Munt. That's the wife and son of trainer, or assistant trainer, or executive assistant trainer, Kurt.
That's right, he got a promotion, didn't he?
That's right, executive assistant trainer.
Who gave him the promotion?
I think it was Sudsy.
All right, we have 1:34 remaining on the power play. Glenn Seabrook, who assisted for his first NHL point on that power play goal near the end of the first period, is on with Kerr, Eklund, Howe, and Zezel. Flyers trying to get that draw. Right there is Seabrook. He fell on the puck, and then I think we're getting a hand pass against Philadelphia in the face-off outside.
The power play worked very well for the Flyers yesterday afternoon. They picked up 2 goals on it, but they haven't seemed to really get the rhythm or the flow of it so far in this game. Mike Keenan, Paul Holmgren, excellent 2-part series, or at least the first of 2-part series, appeared in the Burlington County Times this morning on Paul Holmgren. Have to ask Wayne Fish when that second part's going to come.
We got Big Sammy up at the forward line here.
Zezel, Howe, Samuelson, along with Eklund and Kerr. The Islanders try to come out. Zezel blocks at the point, takes a bump from Trottier in order to keep the puck in. And that's the price that Eddie Van Impe talks about so often. Flyers trying to get it, and then Trottier takes it, looks for Crom at center ice, drives it off his glove into the zone as Trottier penetrates. The puck wound around behind Hextall. Up, he carelessly lets it goes by to the near side. Then Trottier try to back it up to the point, and Philadelphia. Zezel gets it up on the left wing to Howe. Howe storming through into the Islanders zone. Down that left side. Can't fight his way past Potvin. Then follows the puck up. The Islanders give it away to Kerr. Offensive left hash marks to the point. Gets it back, but puts it right on the stick. And here come the Islanders 2-on-1. Crom down that left side. Short-handed play. Right out in front. Backhand shot and a save by Hextall. Boy, did he strip Zezel that time with a big move. As the Islanders put the heat on Philadelphia. And the Flyers on the power play for another 35 seconds. Samuelson outlets on the left wing at center to Kerr. Bounces off his stick to Howe, and he wraps it around Rudy, slows it down for Pat Flatley. He'll go up on that far side, cuts out behind the check of Eklund, and starts away at center with Brent Sutter. Now they crisscross. Kerr, as Brent Sutter's shot is on, gets it back, drives it on, oh, and it was tipped over the top of the net, off the stick of Hextall, almost shorthanded by the Islanders. Back comes Philadelphia on the power play, 8 seconds left. They drop it back. Samuelson into the right corner. Looks to throw it behind the net. Does. Eklund has it there. Looks for Kerr. Back to the point. Daniel off to the right side. Then McCrimmon a drive. Short side save. And we're going to have another penalty in there. And against whom? The Islanders and Flyers. Let's see who touches up. It's going to be against Philadelphia, and it looks like it's going to be called against Samuelson for a little extracurricular activity in front. Islander power play coming up early second period. Our game tied at 1. Centered by Trottier with Leiter back at the right point, Johnson at the left. Flyers goal with Marsh and McCrimmon the defense, and they have Lindsey Carson out along with Mellenby. They get it back to the Islanders at the point. LaFontaine along the left boards with a right shot. Back to Johnson, who just did keep it into the point to Leiter. Back to Johnson. Now back to LaFontaine into the corner. It's deflected away by McCrimmon, but goes back to Trottier to the left circle, hash marks to LaFontaine. Give and go. LaFontaine a shot blocked by Marsh. They work that very well, and the Flyers close it off. Marsh down has the puck go to the point. Janssen keeps it in, tries to go to the net, plays it to the left wing corner for Trottier. They're doing a dazzling job of controlling along the left side. Now Janssen drives it off. LaFontaine, a shot wide. Rebound taken by Trottier in the offensive right corner. Back to the right point to Leiter, to Trottier, straight away to the left point. Janssen through a screen. Saved by Hextall. Got behind him as that puck was deflected and took Hextall off his move a little bit. It lied to the crease. Point shot just wide. Rebound batted behind. As the Islanders bidding to take the lead. They go back to the point. Leiter, shot blocked off by the body of Philadelphia's Mellanby, who wants to go off now, and Poulin comes on along with Tocchet as the Islanders bust into the zone. Back to the point to Trottier. Back to Janssen in the offensive right corner. Now Tocchet tried to gamble to pick up Leiter, who has the puck at the point, and it skips through him into center. 6.5 minutes gone in the period. 40 seconds remaining on the Islander power play. The shots in the game are even at 13 in this period, 6-5 for New York. And again, the play disrupted by Tocchet at center ice, who ices it. Half minute left on the Islander power play as Hospodar is out with Howe. Again, Crossman sitting out the evening. Into the offensive zone goes Potvin. Potvin into the slot, coming to the near side, getting it back from the point from Flatley. His shot deflected around behind the net. Hospodar digs it out, wants to backhand it up the middle. It's deflected away, but Tocchet takes it, tries to come out. Blocked back to Poulin, and he finds the opening down the left boards and all the way down. 5 seconds on the advantage. The Islanders will just about get the center ice when the penalty is over, and Samuelsson comes out, and the Flyers keep the Islanders off the board again. Janssen penetrates into the right wing corner, trying to find Brent Sutter. Sutter is jammed up by Samuelsson as the outlet to the center ice. Mishandled a bit by Derek Smith, and the Islanders jam it back in on the net. Lauer took that shot on Hextall, who peels it off to Samuelsson. He's out there along with Howe down that left wing at center. Throw into the zone, and again, Derek Smith can't find the handle, and the Islanders come back. Basson's pass is buried in on a rebound into the near side, and then Samuelsson is bumped, and taking a fight is Lindsey Carson. We got our first brawl.
Flyers are going to get the worst of this, Gene. Carson was on the bench and took a punch at Curran. When Samuelsson took out Bob Basson at the bench, Curran came over to throw a punch at Samuelsson. That's when Carson threw a punch at Curran. And now they got Carson from the bench on top of him, and I think Knockbauer as well.
Samuelson's trying to take the hat off Dwayne Sutter.
The Flyers are going to end up the worst for this one, Gene. They're the ones that...
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah.
That could be at least a misconduct or a game misconduct for Carson joining in from the bench.
Also, Knockbauer went over the bench as well, out onto the ice.
Yeah, you have to be
I wonder
careful.
if you count Potvin on the ice or not. He's got one leg on the bench and one leg on the ice.
We haven't had that one called. First off the bench to get involved in the altercation. And now Dave Newell is telling Basson and whoever's got him in an arm lock, come on, that's
Derek
enough,
Smith
guys.
has him.
That's enough, guys. Come on, all right, settle it down. Now I'm sure they're going to have to go in the huddle to determine who did what to whom. With that penalty, Curran now sets an all-time record for penalty minutes in a season for an Islander, breaking the previous mark held by Gary Howard. And now Carson is off the bench, and they're off. We got another one. And if Curran now has been told by John D'Amico, close the door and stay in there. Now off, we got everybody coming off the bench. There goes Tocchet even up. And now there goes Mellanby. And now the Islanders, and here we go. We got a war. Hextall drops his stick. Out comes Rudy, and he's gone right for Hextall.
Oh, you can just see this coming now. It's totally out of control.
Curran and Tocchet have squared off now.
And Resch and Smith have as well. Well, everybody's paired off now. Not really much happening.
I haven't seen one of these here at this building for a couple of years.
Tell me the people don't like it.
Well, I don't think too many are going for a hot dog.
Well, out comes the blank piece of paper, a line down the middle, Islander name on one side, Flyer on the other for the anticipated penalties.
It started when, Carson was motioned to the penalty box, and when he was going to the penalty box, that's when Dwayne Sutter went over at Carson.
Kern was actually in the penalty box, and when the altercation started, the bench was cleared.
He might be gone for coming out.
He came back out of the penalty bench.
It's a double minor and a game misconduct for leaving the penalty box to join in an altercation.
There's going to be a few of them gone, I think.
I think we've got some time to fill here. I really do. By the time we get these penalties called and sorted out, and all the gloves and sticks picked up, it could be quite some time.
Dwayne Sutter went after Carson when Carson was going to the penalty box. Now Sutter's talking with Samuelson. Talking to Samuelson.
It's amazing the disdain, Eddie, shown by the crowd here. The lack of interest in all of this. The obvious abhorrence they have of all of this violence, quote, quote, unquote. Terry Simpson up on the bench for the Islanders directly below us. Now they all gathered into the Flyer penalty box on the far side.
Well, Sutter's doing a lot of yapping at Samuelson. All of a sudden, his pocket's there and Nate's quiet.
Sutter is in an arm lock with Philadelphia's Brad McCrimmon. Now they...
Interesting with the matchups. You got Eklund and Johnson together, too.
You think those two sought each other out?
Knockbauer's in the penalty box.
Well, they could probably, they're only two that they could swear at each other in Swedish and understand what they're saying. Started with Carson taking a punch at Kern from the bench.
Well, Gilbert's gone to the box, and Kern was already in there. Carson and Knockbauer from Philadelphia. And Knockbauer is being pointed at by Dave Newell, and Knockbauer said, "What did I do?"
No, he's talking to one of the Islanders.
Now, Tocchet went to the bench and just tore his jersey off and threw it down in disgust. And Knockbauer is jawing at the officials, and Fast Eddie.
You know what he's mad at is that they're able to get that jersey up over his head. Usually you have a lace or a strap that ties that
right
jersey
down from your suspenders.
Right, so you can't get that puck or the jersey up over your head, and I think that's what he's really upset about.
Now they're all in the huddle over on the far side, but separated by team rather than in a mix, succotash mix. D'Amico's talking with Newell and Christensen as well to say, here's what we saw. Looking for Lindsey Carson. All right, while they're hashing all this out, it'll take a business. We'll tell you that we have played 7 minutes and 47 seconds into a scoreless second period here at the Spectrum. With the count, the Islanders won and the Flyers won.
Figuring out the calls, at least they're just getting them written down.
The NHL tills will be ringing tomorrow morning.
Remember what I've said for the...
It all stems back to a check Samuelson took on Bob Basson right at the Flyers penalty bench. Samuelson draped him right up over the bench. Kern came in and was going to take a shot at Samuelson. Then it was Carson who punched Kern from the bench. That's what started it all. And then Kern went to throw a punch at Carson and missed. That's what started everything. Then Mellanby grabbed a hold of Kern, and then everything broke loose.
That's when you want to grab the helmet and twist it.
It hasn't happened often, but again, I go back to that plea I made several years ago that if the referee would carry a dictograph in his pocket, and when something like this came abreast, just take it out and start reading into the tape what he saw, instead of trying to remember it like remembering the effects or the details of an accident and rehashing it afterwards.
Gene, that wouldn't work because somebody'd have to remind him to put in new batteries.
Well, that's why they have two linesmen out there. Now, see, he's doing all this writing on the form. And,
well, you have to write the penalties down for the game summary, the game sheet.
Yeah, but not the referee. John D'Amico's saying right now, I haven't been in this league 23 years to take on. Jim Christensen right there, and Dave Newell looking on very placidly and serenely making all this.
Well, at least the players have gone back to
Getting dressed.
Too obvious. All right.
Their gloves and sticks, which is sometimes the hardest thing of these things.
Now let's see if they adhere to the book. Too obvious. You cannot not call these penalties. Our goaltenders each getting 2 minutes for leaving the crease because they did. I mean, that's automatic. They were in center ice, and let's see if they are called. That has to be a lock. In fact, we're going to put that down here. Hextall and Rudy for leaving the crease. 2 minutes. But Carson and Knockbauer are in there.
No Tocchet
and Knockbauer, right?
I think Carson and Curran are gone for the evening.
I'm looking down there.
And it looks like Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert's in the
box for the Islanders.
But Curran could get a double minor and a game misconduct for leaving the penalty box. Carson could get a game misconduct for throwing a punch from the bench, and maybe a flyer if they deem so. Somebody had to be first off the bench for all of that nonsense. And now Jim Christensen is explaining to Brent Sutter what he saw. Remember that old guideline, whenever you explain it to one team, they either got the worst of it or not as good as they thought they should have had. 1-1 to score. Tocchet at 19:36 of the opening period from Seabrook and Craven on the power play. 16 seconds later at 19:52, LaFontaine for the Islanders tied it with his 20th from Kerr and Lauer. That's where we stand. The shots are 13-13 in the game, and the Islanders, up to this point, had 3 of the game's 5 penalties, but we're going to have a lot more. Many more.
Boy, there's an interested-looking young man, John D'Amico.
Well, Washington Capitals are back in winning ways, at least so far. They have a 2-0 lead over New Jersey in the second period. Dave Christian, Mike Gartner, the goals. Christian is starting to break out of that goal-scoring slump that he's been mired in for much of this season. 2-0 Capitals over the New Jersey Devils. That's the second period score.
We haven't mentioned during the broadcast the big trade made at midnight last night. Detroit sending goal scorer John Ogrodnik along with Basil McRae and Doug Shedden to Quebec for Brent Ashton, Mark Kumpel, and Gilbert Delorme. And soon after that trade was consummated, it was Kumpel breaking his wrist in the game that Quebec was playing in Detroit. So it really is for the time being a 2-for-3 trade with Kumpel out for 6 weeks.
That game Detroit won as well.
Yep.
Well, Quebec really has been struggling, and I think you can point to the injury to Dale Hunter as the prime reason.
All right, they're still working out a long bevy of penalties down there, and we'll use that opportunity to remind you again. 12-13 remaining, second period from the Spectrum. Flyers and Islanders are deadlocked at 1.
A lot of bystanders standing around just waiting to find out what the final result will be, who will get the penalties, and exactly how much.
Got to be some game misconducts in there, although Curran is the only one that has officially left the ice for the night. Lindsey Carson is still down there, awaiting the judgment.
Not much you can talk about, really, until they figure out what's going on or who's going to be left playing on the ice and who's going to be sitting in the penalty box and what everything else is.
Last time we had one like this was that 6-5 game at the Island, when LaFontaine went and Stanley went and Brown went in a mid-first period, Donnybrook.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bench clear, though. Well, let's go down to Lou Nolan.
Ladies and gentlemen, our penalties. For New York, number 33, Steve Conroy, a double minor plus a game misconduct.
That's for first man off the bench.
New York penalty number 34, Brian Curran. 2 minutes for leaving the penalty box to join an altercation. 5 minutes for fighting plus a game misconduct. Number 17.
They don't have a 17. 7. Greg Gilbert.
Number 7, Greg Gilbert, a 10-minute misconduct. Make that number 7. For the Islanders, number 28, Bob Basson, a 10-minute misconduct. Islanders penalty number 30, goalkeeper Kelly Hirudi, 2 minutes for leaving the crease.
The bench clear, though. Well, let's go down to Lou Nolan.
Ladies and gentlemen, our penalties. For New York, number 33, Steve Conroy, a double minor plus a game misconduct.
That's for first man off the bench.
New York penalty number 34, Brian Curran. 2 minutes for leaving the penalty box to join an altercation. 5 minutes for fighting plus a game misconduct. Number 17.
They They don't have a 17. 7. Greg Gilbert.
Number 7, Greg Gilbert, a 10-minute misconduct. Make that number 7. For the Islanders, number 28, Bob Basson, a 10-minute misconduct. Islanders penalty number 30, goalkeeper Kelly Hirudi, 2 minutes for leaving the crease. Now for the Flyers, number 22, Rick Tockett, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 18, Lindsey Carson, 2 minutes for roughing plus a game misconduct. Number 42, Don Knockbauer, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 17, Ed Hospodar, 2 minutes for roughing plus a 10-minute misconduct. And number 27, Ron Hextall, 2-minute minor for leaving the crease. I'll recap them once again for you. Steve Conroy, New York, double minor, first off the bench, game misconduct. Ryan Curran, New York, 2 minutes for leaving the penalty box for joining altercation, 5 minutes for fighting plus a game misconduct. Number 7, Greg Gilbert, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 28, Bob Bassett, a 10-minute misconduct. Goalkeeper number 30, Kelly Hirudi, 2-minute minor for leaving the crease.
We're still getting feedback from the
Flyers
penalty box as to the penalties to whom and what type and how much.
2 minutes for roughing, game misconduct. Number 42, Don Knockbauer, 10-minute misconduct. Number 17, Ed Hospodar, 2 minutes roughing, 10-minute misconduct. And number 27, Ron Hextall, 2-minute minor for leaving the crease.
Plenty of penalties being given out here after the bench clear that both teams, all players left the bench, joined into the altercation at center ice.
It looks like the Islanders ended up with the worst part of it than the Flyers.
Well,
Really, because Curran gets 2-5 in a game, which works out to 17 minutes, and Conrad 4 in a game. And the only person that even comes close to getting any more than that is Carson with 2 for roughing in a game misconduct. It's hard to, by the looks of it, it might look like the Flyers might get 1 power play out of the whole thing, but I think because of Hospodar 2 for roughing, Carson 2 for roughing, that'll offset Curran's 2 and 1 of Conroyd's double minor. And everything else evens out, it appears, Gene, so I would think that the Flyers will end up with a power play opportunity.
yeah, probably the guy who's going to suffer the most out of this, Conroy. To get a double minor in a game means he's first off the bench, and that's an automatic 3 games.
They're really, the way it looks right now, the Islanders are going to lose 2 defensemen.
That's exactly right. Conroy and Curran, that'll
the
be
game.
a big hole. This early, too. We have a 12-13 remaining in this second period, of course, and all the third. But if you just take a look at the minors, it appears that the Islanders have 4 minor penalties. The Flyers end up with 3 minor penalties. Therefore, it appears that the Flyers should get a power play opportunity out of this. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I couldn't agree more. We've got 12 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here in the second period, and the score is deadlocked at 1 apiece.
We'll get these.
There hasn't been a penalty coming up, showed up on the board yet, so something's. Oh yes, there is. There is a 2 minutes now for the Islanders, so the Flyers will get a power play opportunity, which will be their 4th of the game. And I think the most important thing to come out of there is what you pointed out, Eddie, is that the Islanders lose 2 defensemen, Conroy and Curran. Flyers lose Lindsey Carson for the game.
Now in the game, there have been 24 penalties evenly divided. And in this mishmash, let's see, that's 17 penalties all told. Curran has gone 236 minutes on the Gilbert now with 19. Tockett with 166. Knockbauer with 19. Kelly Hirudi with his second penalty of the game has 27 minutes. Conroy 44. Basson 62. Hospodar with his second outing of the game has 3 penalties, 89 minutes, and Hextall now has 48 on the year.
Dave Newell is talking with Terry Simpson, the Islander coach, explaining why the Islanders, I guess, ended up a short-handed situation, when, in his mind, is clearly the fact that they would never start if the Flyers hadn't, or Carson had to take a punch at Curran from the bench.
I think he's got reason to complain.
They're still arguing. The mind is not going to be changed. Now, why Newell is staying there to argue the thing over, I don't understand that. If he's made up his mind, you explain it once, that's it.
Get the game underway. Let's go.
Islanders picked up 4 minors on that. The double minor to Conroy, the minor to Rudy, and the minor to Curran.
Double minors to Steve Conroy. That is the penalty that must be served.
Yeah. And the Flyers picked up, what, 2? The roughing, the Hospodar, the leaving the crease for Hextall.
And the roughing for Carson, so they picked up 3.
All right, that's who I don't have down here. That's the one I've missed.
Carson got 2 for roughing and a game misconduct.
Okay. They have Kerr out there along with Zezel, McCrimmon, and Howe.
Number 27, Ron Hextall.
Puck on the near side. Flyers have to have somebody in the box to serve Hextall's penalty. The Islanders have to have someone in to serve Rudy's penalty, both for leaving the crease. Flyers up the middle. 1-1 to score, and that almost has been forgotten as Howe is taken down at center ice. Bumps into traffic, and then it's pumped into the zone along the near side. Potvin around to the far side. Brent Sutter will try to blow it out. Howe tried to block it with his body along the left boards and failed to do so. Flyers got the power play late in the first period and really a rush up ice rather than their containment in the zone with the extra man. They penetrate Kerr. The Islanders smother the play. Kerr trying to make it. It goes kicks pass through Zezel. And up ice Hextall way out to his left. Puts it in the neutral zone. And only one man there. And now turning is Eklund coming with Kerr. 2-on-4. He stops inside the zone. Works into the corner. Tries to go back. It does to McCrimmon at the point. McCrimmon trying to draw over Potvin and Trottier are on this near side. Flyers a little trouble in the near side. Try to go in around behind the net. It's blocked off, and Eklund will take it into the right circle. Goes behind the net. Howe is there. The Flyers just really can't get their rhythm going yet. Eklund now holds against Trottier. Goes back to McCrimmon. Shovel to the left side. Zezel looks on the net. Boom, a shot well wide. And the force of the blow goes right past Eklund on the offensive right side and McCrimmon. And Hextall fired up. Gets it himself out to center ice, and with 30 seconds left, Zezel through at the line. Off to the left side to Dobbin. Dobbin into the corner, behind the net. Zezel has it there, tried to go back to Dobbin, broken down. Now trying to fight for the puck as Dobbin. It kicks up along the far side, gambling deep in his Daigneault. Puts it behind to Dobbin. Back to Daigneault, he's got an open man here. Winds up instead, shoots, and it reaches the stick of Kenny Leiter. Off to Brent Sutter, and he ices it.
This is the 15th ranked penalty killing unit in the league, the Islanders. They've really struggled when they've had the short-handed situations over the last 8 games.
Now Craven sent away flying down that left side to Seabrook. The team's at full strength. At the point, it rolls loose. The Islanders tie it up, and we get a stoppage as LaFontaine sits on it. We're at the midway point of the second period. Our defensive left circle. Derek Smith out with Dobbin and Poulin. Marsh back with Samuelson. The Islanders win the draw. Deneen back with Leiter, and up front, LaFontaine with Lauer and Kerr. And this was the trio that knotted the game at the end of the first period. We get an offside coming out of the zone.
Billy?
Yes, it seems to be some confusion as to players that are on the penalty box and that they're directing out of the game here. Dave Newell made a call upstairs to Clay Mangles, the supervisor of officials here in Philadelphia, to discuss it. And John D'Amico at this point is now speaking to some of the players, and I believe they want to move them from the penalty box to the locker room area. Other than that, I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on. I think that's it.
Thanks, Lou.
Bill, you should put a striped shirt on.
All right, let's go through this. Curran's gone. He can't come back. Gilbert can come back with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the period. Tocchet can come back with 7 minutes and 13 seconds left in the period. Knockbauer can come back with 3 minutes left in the period. Conroy's gone. Basson can come back with 2 minutes left. Hospodar can come back with 13 seconds left in the period. And Carson is gone, so only all the players in the penalty box can come back before the end of the period. So I don't see why you'd send him to the dressing room.
There's a third-generation Flyers fan.
Now, Tockett's out of the box, but according to this, he only received the 5-minute major for fighting. Now, according to our sheet, and that's what we heard, he could come back with 7 minutes and 13 seconds left in the period, and that's only 2 minutes and 35 seconds from here. So why would he go to the dressing room? Unless they did not give us a misconduct penalty against Tocchet.
I think what we should do is drop the puck and get the game underway.
What's the difference where they're going to sit? They're not going to be playing.
Philadelphia will go with Poulin, Dobbin on the right.
Tocchet has left the penalty box. He is an automatic game misconduct. Automatic game misconduct for Tocchet.
Why? Why is that?
When?
I guess they say he went out of the penalty box when Curran did. Something's goofy here.
Yeah, all right. We didn't have any penalties such. Into the zone, over the line. The Islanders down in that right corner. Oh, man, all alone in front was Lauer, but a nice smother of the puck far side by Poulin. Goes back to the point. Deneen, a bullet right on. And the Flyers ice it. Just shy of the goal line. When I say ice it, they're both all at full strength out there. Marsh penetrates 1-1 game. And Deneen behind the net. And works out to the right side at center. Coming Kerr with Brent Sutter, now joined by Flatley, Potvin, and Johnson. There's a shot in on Hextall. Cleared away. Potvin tries to pick it up, but it skips through to center. Islanders come back. Flatley's shot is blocked. Picks up his rebound off Marsh. Balls in the offensive right corner. Marsh picks it off to Zezel, and he just flips it into the neutral zone. Shots are even at 14 in this period, 7-6 for the Island. Puck up for grabs at center ice as all of that hoopla has taken them off their offensive game. Up ice come the Islanders at the Philadelphia line. Along that left side, Flatley looks, puts it in on the net, blocked off, comes back to him, rolls off to the right side, and picked up there and driven in on the net from the right side by Thomas Johnson. Blocked around to the near side. Flatley centers to the point. Johnson winds up, shot, hits Hextall, the save made, and then Zezel puts it up on the left side, and Seabrook away to center ice to Kerr. His pass picked right off by Brent Sutter. Flyers have come out of that imbroglio a little less sharp than the Islanders right now, as they've been pinned in. Seabrook, a nice move at center ice, right winging it for Kerr, skips into the zone to Eklund. Gonna cut right in on the net, looks to throw it out in front, and it zips past Kerr. Then Howe is bumped in the corner, fights it behind, comes out in front, Suffer, oh, and it got under Rudy, and he covered it before Eklund could get a whack, and then Leiter takes a rip at Eklund.
It almost handcuffed Kelly Rudy. It was a crazy, bouncing, slow rolling puck that Rudy had to quickly get to the knees to stop it from rolling in and around or over that goal line. But it was a play that Howe was able to cushion his body on the check and still control the puck. And a lot of times, players, when that check's coming at them, will stiffen up. That really knocks them off the puck. If you relax and go with the check like Howe did at that occasion, you end up getting the puck 9 times out of 10. Then his shot was bouncing and rolling, and it almost got through. But Rudy was quick enough to cover up and still keep this game deadlocked at 1 with 7:45 remaining in the second period.
Derek Smith with Poulin and Kerr. Samuelson on the right, Howe on the left, and this offensive left circle face-off. And it'll be taken by Trottier is out with Dwayne Sutter and Richie Crom. And they have Morrow back on the defense with Leiter. Flyers, Kerr, offensive left corner. Leiter takes him out nicely. Check comes around to the near side to Derek Smith. Puts it in front. Kerr, look, turns around. A shot that's smothered, and the Islanders dig it out. Up on the left side, Crom puts it in and loses it at center ice on the feed from Leiter. Now a pass trying to find Dwayne Sutter, and he deflects it back to his own blue line. Then trying to get it up ice as Maroney shoots it into the seat as the team's really out of sync right now.
This has really been a tight, hard-fought contest with not too much offense. Score deadlocked at 1 apiece. As a happy fan will take home a souvenir.
He was played that type of game yesterday as well in the Island. It was a game that was not an awful lot of shots on goal by either club. Not much scoring, very few really dynamite plays, but a workmanlike 4-2 victory. And we have lots of time here remaining, but it's a very disciplined, close checking types.
Goals are hard to come by.
Craven
Shots are hard to come by, let alone goals.
Craven Eklund out there along with Mellenby. The puck shot by the Islanders to center ice, controlled by Philadelphia. The defense is McCrimmon and Howe. Down that left side, Craven is going to try to turn Dineen, shoots off the right elbow of Kelly Rudy, and the Islanders retrieve along their defensive left side. Lauer comes out, almost flipped to the puck, then tied up by Eklund. There goes Mellenby in the corner, to the side of the net, around behind, rubbed out. In the corner, trying to center it is Craven. 2 Islanders, 2 Flyers behind the New York net. Kicks out into the corner to Eklund, back underneath, and in all of that traffic, no play can be made by Craven. Now Mellenby in the offensive left corner, and it kicks out of that corner, thrown by the Islanders into center ice. And now in that corner, trying to fight off the hold of Johnson, is Philadelphia's Craven. As the Flyers lose the puck, it goes back to the point, flipped in along the near side, gathered on the carom off the left boards by Flatley. Wants to go back to the point and throws it past Thomas Johnson into center. 6:20 remaining in the second period. The Islanders slam it in, and now they'll change. Potvin out with Morrow, and they bring on Makela along with Brent Sutter. He's rubbed out behind nicely by Philadelphia's McCrimmon, and Eklund sends it to the point. Morrow keeps it in, pumps it past Pat Flatley to Brent Sutter in the offensive right boards. Comes out, goes to the point. Morrow on the forehand, and no drive, winds it behind the net. McCrimmon is there to poke it back loose into the defensive left corner. Craven has it, does not get it out. That was a careless play. Into the slot, shot! Block, rebound blocked by Hextall on a dandy. Back to the point, winding up Morrow around behind the net. Makela slows it down, tied up by Howe. Howe tries to pull it underneath him to get a stoppage of play, and does. 5:41 remaining in the second period from the Spectrum. It's the Flyers 1 and the Islanders 1. Dwayne Sutter, the puck back to Dineen at the point, looks, got a screen, right into the circle, back to the point. It skips out at center ice, and Kerr trying to shove it up ice and pick it up, but Leiter has a little bit more speed, gathers it in his zone and puts it to center. Samuelson waits for Kerr to clear, flips it into the offensive left side. There is Dineen trying to roll it out, kept in by Kerr. Along that offensive left side, behind the net, Smith in front to Samuelson. Off to Brad Marsh, looks, no shot. Now Samuelson right on in, drive, and Rudy with no screen grabs it, cherry picks, plays off to his left, and the Islanders put it to the line. And then Samuelson cuts off the pursuit out of the zone, and it's slammed back into the right of Rudy by Poulin. The Islanders out on the far side, and they break. Dwayne Sutter with Crom against Zezel and Samuelson. They drop back to Crom, top of the right circle, drive. That goes by Hextall as Dwayne Sutter went in on the net trying to screen. Back comes Philadelphia's Derek Smith over the line to Kerr. Kerr into the corner, gets around his man in front, and he shot it over the head of Rudy. The Flyers jammed the net. It's put in the corner behind the net by Samuelson, taken off by the Islanders and shot up ice. 4:30 remaining in the period. 1-1 the score. Seabrook on the left wing as he's out there now with Zezel and Dobbin. Over the line to Zezel, fights through a check. To the near side, tries to go in. Seabrook was creamed in front of the net by Morrow, and the Islanders take it and shoot to center. Bob Fontaine lost his glove, picks it up as Howe up the middle. Works to the left side, gives the puck to Seabrook, rolls off his stick, puts it behind the net to Zezel. Zezel tries to fight free of the check of LaFontaine to make the centering play with Dobbin in the crease in front. Now in there is Morrow along with Seabrook. They battle for the puck. Nice play by Philadelphia. The Islanders can't dig it free, but nor can the Flyers for an offensive gesture. Behind the net, Morrow tied up by Seabrook, and finally, Dave Newell says you tried, and no avail. Will get a stoppage of play.
With 3 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the second periods, the score is deadlocked at 1 apiece. The scoring all in the first period. Tocchet on the power play is 17th, and then LaFontaine is 20th. Actually, it was all in the last 30 seconds of the first period, the scoring. Seabrook picking up an assist on the first goal by Tocchet.
All right, the rule. First player off the bench in an altercation gets a double minor in a game misconduct. Any subsequent players who leave the bench are supposed to be tabbed with a game misconduct. That's, I would gather, although we have not been given that official explanation, that could be the reason for Tocchet coming off, getting in a fight in that brawl, and then picking up game misconduct for leaving the bench. Flyers working offensive left side. A tough, hard battle. As Philadelphia digs it out in the corner, Eklund now wants to make a play, but as he looked, it swept away from him in the corner by Janssen. Eklund follows it up, nobody in front. Tries to make a little move past Brent Sutter to get it to the point. It goes to Makela, puts it past Howe, and Howe at center ice is bumped. 2-on-1 for the Islanders. Over the line, breaking for the net is Brent Sutter. Centering pass blocked by McCrimmon, and we get a stoppage of play and a trip against Philadelphia as down in the corner went Sutter. He is out along with Makela right. LaFontaine, the Islander goal scorer, left with Janssen at the point in Potvin. The Flyers go Marsh, Samuelsson, Poulin, and Zezel. Islanders get it to the point, right into the corner. That's Makela with the puck, holding. He's got Trottier at the goal line left of Hextall. Comes near side, and right there trying to come in was Potvin from the point. Smothered by Philadelphia, slows down Marsh's pursuit, and the Islanders dig it out and then roll it loosely into the offensive left side. LaFontaine behind the net, dug out. They look to play it in front. The Flyers close off the gap. They've got Trottier in front. The Islanders go instead to the point, left side to Potvin, holds. Poulin picking him up, shot on the net, blocked off by Marsh and Hextall. The Islanders control to the near side, stolen by Poulin. Tries to roll it out and gets it into center ice. Janssen turns, 2:45 remaining in the period, 1:15 on the Islander power play. They put it down that right side, and Trottier kicks it behind the net. Hextall will dig it out. Look, he's got a man up the middle, but did not see Derek Smith and chose to make sure and sends it all the way down. Islanders, Rudy gets it up on the right side as the Flyers changing on the go. It's tapped in deep. Hextall stops it, looks, and skies it high down the ice. 2:20 remaining in the period, 50 seconds on the Islander power play.
Goaltenders are playing keep away, Gene.
Yeah, here's a steal. The play in front, knocked down by Derek Smith to the far side. Tries to keep it in and kill time, and does. The Islanders 0 for 2 this evening, 5 for 20 on the year against Philadelphia. Play kicked out at center by Brent Sutter and jammed in McCrimmon. Clock shows a half-minute left on the Islander venture with 2 minutes remaining in the period. No scoring in this session. The game is tied at 1. Brent Sutter penetrate. Can't get past A.B. Poulin. Poulin coming up alongside is taken down by Flatley, and the puck followed up by Derek Smith, sent all the way into the Islander zone. Now Philadelphia with McCrimmon out and Howe, and they have Poulin out there with Peter Zezel. A nice block again by Poulin. There goes Zezel down the right side. Can't turn Janssen. Now cuts in on the net. Is pulled off his skates. Maybe a little dive there by Peter as he threw his skates forward, hoping to get the call. None was made. And out of the penalty box now comes Mellanby with a puck at center ice. Jammed at the Philadelphia line and trying to fight his way through, and doing so is Brent Sutter. Tapped off his stick and sent by the Flyers defense, Mark Howe, to center ice. Jammed in. Poulin knocks down and will start away with Mellanby on his right into the zone. He's got a man breaking in, but plays to the near side, and Mellanby had it picked off by the Islanders. That was LaFontaine. They battle halfway down the offensive right boards. McCrimmon, Poulin in that corner. Mellanby comes out with the puck, screens it off. It's grabbed by LaFontaine. Poulin behind the net to Zezel. Zezel in front. And as he tried to go for it, taken off, and the Islanders will come, and we're going to get another penalty against New York, and it should be a hold against LaFontaine for grabbing the Flyer in pursuit of the puck. 50 seconds remaining in the period. Kerr fights the puck back to the left point to Daigneault. Daigneault trying to draw over Trottier down that far side and behind the net. Rudy picks it off, isolates it up on the left side. Flyers trying to keep it in, and a nice effort by Trottier to get it up ice with 36 seconds left in the period. Samuelsson swooping around behind the net away from the effect of forechecking of Richie Crom, who's out with Brent Sutter now, and Potvin with Morrow. Flyers Eklund up the middle. Down that left side into the zone, around behind the net. He's got his man. Centering pay blocked off. Brent Sutter tries to get it through past Kerr, but with no alley that way. Comes to Morrow on the near boards. He gets it to the point, and it rolls to center ice. Samuelsson has to feed it back in. Now there is Morrow cutting in along with Brent Sutter, but Eklund just screens it off enough to get it up through off Kerr's skate into the Islander zone, and that's where we will come to the end of a scoreless second period. Again, the shots for Philadelphia, 9, a game total of 17. For the Islanders, 10, a game total of 17. But the real story at the 7:47 mark.
Trottier.
Not totally. I think we've got some other people that can and are prepared to accept some of the responsibility of leadership. And really, I think that every person on the team has to accept a certain share of that. But we have some players that are capable of taking on more responsibility, and it will be Potvin to some extent. But we have other people that will step up and lead us when we have to.
Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, and Dennis have done it for so long, and it's time that myself, Pat Bradley, and Brent Sutter, who has done it, is doing it. Some other guys start to grab a little more of a leadership role and to do a little more on and off the ice, and it's starting to be a little more evident.
I don't think that we've taken any of the pressure off ourselves to perform out there, but it's true that it's nice to see other guys, you know, going out there and scoring goals.
Third-year players have to kind of do that sort of thing?
Well, I think, you know, for them to make an impression not only on the organization, but in the league as a whole, I think that, you know, they owe it to themselves to start producing.
And in fact, Pat LaFontaine.
Rudy to the left. The referee is Dave Newell, Jim Christensen, and John D'Amico, the linesman. Capitals leading 4-0 in the second period at the Meadowlands. Penguins at home scoreless in the first. The Nordiques 3-0 over the Blackhawks in the first period at Chicago, and in the third period, Sabres 4 and the Oilers 2. Kerr down the left wing, taps it into the zone as the Flyers on the power play on a LaFontaine call. They have 1 minute left. They try to get it back, but it's picked off by Crom. Will come with Trottier. Zezel trying to catch up with Trottier at the Flyer line, and a nice sweep check by McCrimmon takes it away. The Islanders double team in the offensive right corner. There is Trottier jammed up by McCrimmon. Fights off, falls, and finally, with 39 seconds on the power play, the Zezel comes up at center ice through to Eklund. Over the line, and a bouncing puck rolls it down that left side, and the Islanders pick it off and send it all the way down. Scoring chances at a minimum this evening. Flyers again with 25 seconds left, through past Daigneault, and then it hit Zezel off Daigneault's stick, hit him in the back and ricocheted into the Islander bench. And we have 22 seconds remaining on the Flyer power play, which has been lackluster this evening. They are 1 for 4. This is their 5th pop, and on the season 6 for 24 against New York. Chicago there next Wednesday, Chicago here next Friday, and next Saturday at the Byrne Meadowland Arena against the Devils. Typical sellout, 17,222 on hand. This is the Flyers' 25th home game. Leiter at center, pass blocked off by Seabrook, who assisted on the 1 Flyer goal. Loses his skate, follows the puck behind the Islander net. Nice turn there by Dineen, but Seabrook stays with him, gets the puck to Craven, back to the point. Samuelson looks back around behind the net. Seabrook, it skips past him. Flyers pick it up on the offensive side. The Howe toward the net, tipped right in on by Seabrook as the penalty is over. Great play in there by Rudy as Seabrook tipped it right on the net. LaFontaine over, 2-on-1 with Flatley. He's in. Short side shot is smothered by Philadelphia's Howe. They battle for it behind the Philadelphia net. LaFontaine off the skates. They break it free. LaFontaine goes back to the left point. Potvin look. Shot. Save by Stahl off the screen in front by LaFontaine, and then Seabrook on the near side, stripped by LaFontaine. The puck back at the point, sent down the ice by Philadelphia's Craven. Out comes Derek Smith now for Philadelphia with Dobbin, Daigneault, Marsh. And the Flyers need another man out there. There goes Eklund. They flip it in. Right in front, Derek Smith pops it over the top of the net as Rudy came out to try to cover it. Smith did the right thing to play. A little soft went over him and got a little bit high, but very close. And then the Flyers have the puck all the way down into their zone, and it's an icing call. 2:03 gone in this score. Makes his home in Vancouver. 16th year in the league as a linesman. Puck dropped and sent behind the New York net. Leiter swings around away from the forechecking of Zezel. The Brent Sutter takes his own carom off the left boards at center ice. Flying through it to Philadelphia. They give him the line, and he drills one over the net and off the boards behind Hextall, and it clears out in front. Shot back in. Boy, he was in full flight and got every bit of that puck. The puck then is hand passed, according to John D'Amico, and he signals right out here in center ice to face off. Boy, that was a bullet by Brent Sutter.
He hasn't really been a factor in the 2 games so far. Usually he's in and around that net quite often. Yesterday they neutralized him quite well. Tonight he hasn't had much except for this big booming shot that might have flipped up off of the stick, but it was well over the net. Still, when that shot's coming after you, that goaltender still has to move. You have to react.
Old word called syzygy, which means everything working in unison. And Bobby, just before you mentioned that, I was going to say Brent Sutter hasn't been a factor tonight or last night. Puck back at center ice. Morrow lifts it in. McCrimmon is out there, fans, and then in there goes LaFontaine on the missed chance. Flyers trying to take it back. LaFontaine behind the net, past McCrimmon, looks to center. Howe rubs him off, but then Crom behind has Trache in front tries to center. The Flyers a weak pass to the near side trying to outlet. Then it's dumped into the corner. Nice move off to the near side for Trache. Looks, puts it in front. And then an angle shot by LaFontaine is missed, and the Flyers drill it up the ice. That'll be an icing, says John D'Amico. And Christensen agrees, and we'll get the stoppage of play. Exactly 3:01 gone, third period from the Spectrum. The Flyers and the Islanders are tied at 1.
In fact, his last 7 or 8, 9 minutes of the game, they've been really their best hockey. See how or if it continues here tonight.
Flyers come to center. Craven has got Mellanby with him into the zone. He's got him beat to Mellanby on the near side, but the pass a little soft. That allowed Potvin to cut across and break it free, and the Islanders still don't get it out. There is Craven in front. Bullet! And Rudy got it as it was aimed for the 5-hole. The Islanders get it out the center. We've just been told that so we'll pick that up in a minute as the Flyers try to come out. Puck sent in shallow. Mellanby fights for it, gets it away from Gilbert, and Poulin then is stopped at the point. Potvin looks toward the net, knocked down and just wide. As Hextall went right, the puck tipped by Gilbert went to the near side as Philadelphia then puts it into the New York zone. Very, very close for the Islanders. Dwayne Sutter misses the puck at center ice. Taken by Samuelson and shoveled in. Is out there now is Knockbauer, along with Eklund and Dobbin. Puck in the Flyer zone, and Eklund back there to pick it off. Away from Lauer to near side to Howe. Up through on the left wing, and here comes Knockbauer. 2-on-4. Long shot. Rudy grabbed that one down low, about ankle high in the pads. The Islanders clear out. Howe tried to keep it in at the point, did not. Goes back to McCrimmon at the Flyer line to regroup. He's up on the left side, and the Flyers touch it. Would have been a 2-liner. Islanders back 3-on-2 into the zone. Nice move inside by Lauer. Tripped up to the point. LaFontaine, a bullet. Score through the slot.
You can't keep giving up that blue line. You keep giving up the blue line, you're going to get scored upon. And again, the trailer is the one who picks up the goal. Flyers let the Islanders have the play back. They had all 5 men back in the zone with only 2 Islanders at the time the play was made at the blue line. All 5 Flyers back, and they still gave up the blue line. Nobody picks up the trailer. LaFontaine, who takes a quick wrist shot that beats Hextall between the pads, and the Islanders take the lead for the first time tonight. On LaFontaine's 21st goal of the year, his 2nd of the night.
Lauer will get 1 assist.
Number 32, Brad Lauer, along with number 3, Thomas Johnson.
And Thomas Johnson.
4 minutes and 23 seconds.
So there's a dump all the way into the Islander zone, touched up by New York. They control, and they'll try to come out of their zone. It's the first time on the weekend that the Islanders have led since that goal early on last night by Dineen at the 1:58 mark of the first period. So they're up now 2-1. Flyers have only lost 2 home games this year, 2-1 to Hartford and 3-2 to the Rangers. And now looking deficit in the eye in the third period.
Flyers really haven't had any opportunity to really test that man Rudy that much in the game, let alone here in the third period. The shots they have had have been out from a long way and from the angle.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance, 17.
Of course, they are missing 2 forwards, Carson and Tocchet. And with Sutter out, that's 3 regulars. Off the normal recent play. Zezel, Craven, Kerr, along with McCrimmon and Howe. Howe working up past Makela, through to Craven, blocks with his skate into the zone, 1-on-3. Plays off to the left side, it's tied up. The puck knocked behind the Islander net where it's dug out by Makela. He'll turn around to the right side of the net and start up on the right wing at center ice. At the red line, tries to punch it through Howe, cannot. Howe pumps it up in the ice at center. Knocked down, controlled, and sent in deep by Morrow behind the Philadelphia net. Hextall is there, around to the near side. Craven has a chance to block. Looks up at center and hits Kerr in flight, 1-on-2. Over the line, swings to the left, wants to turn his man, shovels it in on the short side, and Rudy, who continues to play very strongly this year as he has through his career against Philadelphia. The puck behind the net. Derek Smith there in front. Kerr whacked at it, but he had 3 men surrounding him and hit one of the skates of one of those 3 and never got his really good chance at the puck. Puck deep in the Philadelphia zone. 14:20 remaining in the third period. Islanders lead on that goal at 4:23 by LaFontaine. Now Mellanby into the zone, over the line to Derek Smith. He's got Marsh in front. There's a pass, and it's deflected away. Taken down is Mellanby on the near side, and Dineen immediately when the whistle blew, although his back was to the referee, knew what the call was. Flyer power play coming up. Islanders 2 and the Flyers 1.
On the power play, as Gordonine gets a 2-minute minor for hooking, the Flyers were jamming the net for the first time really effectively. Marsh taking 2 men out, almost Rudy as well, and then Mellenby going for the loose puck was pulled down by Gordonine. And as soon as he gained possession of the Islanders, the play was called, and Flyers now on the power play.
Samuelson to the right circle, into the corner to Eklund. Out there with Kerr in front, Zezel. Now Eklund fell, tried to go in deep, puck blocked. He gets it back, but it's taken off by Crom. Wants to turn out of that corner to unload, and it flies past Samuelson down into the Philadelphia end. Trottier out on the power play defense along with Crom.
They should refuse the penalty tonight.
Flyers
can't seem to get it going at all.
1 for 5 tonight. They're 3 for 11 on the weekend as they get it up the middle to Eklund. 1 on 4. Pumps it in on Rudy, and he drops it at his feet. And just as Eklund came in, he drops on it. We have 1:23 remaining on the advantage. 6:30 played into the third period. 2-1 Islanders.
The Islanders have been very strong in faceoffs in the weekend series. Tim Kerr has been the only one who really been able to win any of the draws for Philadelphia. And if Kelly Rudy was wise, he'd freeze that puck at every opportunity. Nothing disrupts the flow or disrupts the team from getting into a forechecking or offensive flow than whistles and faceoffs. And if he can freeze the puck, he's picked up a delay of the game call by Dave Newell in this game, but at every opportunity, you can bet Newell won't call that with only 13 minutes remaining in the third period. So Rudy might be wise to freeze that puck as often as possible.
The Islander road victories this year have come at the Garden against the Rangers, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Quebec, Buffalo, Vancouver, and Minnesota. They are 7-10-3 on the road. The Flyers 21-2-1 at home. And against the Islanders' lifetime here, 26 wins, 13 losses, 5 ties. Wrap around into the corner, a bleeding one picked off and then lost by Zezel, sent to the blue line, and Samuelson keeps it in. Behind the net, Zezel to Kerr, poked away from him. Howe goes deep along the left side, protects it against Brent Sutter. In that corner, Eklund along with Kerr and Howe. 2 Islanders, 3 Flyers. It comes out of that corner. Nice play by Brent Sutter to grab it, put it on his stick with his hand, and glove and ice it, and that's okay. Hextall out on the far wing, the center to Zezel. Zezel left side to Howe, down that right side into Eklund, rolls it in, but the Islanders cut off the pursuit with 50 seconds. Cleared around to the near side. Howe knocks it down, keeps it in. Islanders blocking the corner, but Kerr gets it loose behind the net to Eklund. Back near side to Zezel. He's tripped up by the referee as Newell got in the way, and here come the Islanders 3-on-2 shorthanded. Janssen swings to his left. Off to Flatley. Man in front is Brent Sutter, and he can't get the shot. And Philadelphia with 28 seconds and the advantage come 3-on-2. Zezel, Eklund, and Kerr. Eklund over the line to the net. Looks, waits too long. Man coming in off the point. And the pass looking for Daniel was blocked. They got it back in the corner to Eklund. Eklund holds at the hash mark. 14 seconds on the advantage. Looks behind the net, Zezel. In front, blocked away and back to the point. Kept in by Daniel. Looks, right winging to Eklund. 5 seconds left. Straight away to McCrimmon. Shot, knocked down in front. Where is it? Off the body of one of the Islanders shot in, and Rudy, who was down on his knees hunting, had the puck come right from Daniel's shot into the breadbasket for the stoppage of play at the conclusion of the penalty to Denis.
To me, that's the Flyers have been doing more of on the power play.
Dragging it offensive. Nice play by Mellenby. Comes out of that corner, goes to shoot. Boy, he was held firmly by Crom, and Crom gets it to Potvin and away to center ice with LaFontaine on the right. Potvin up the middle. LaFontaine mishandles, and then Potvin runs over Samuelson as in the near corner. The Islanders put it into the slot. Marsh away at center. Look for Poulin, but will keep it himself. Now right wings it into the zone to Poulin. Poulin waits toward the net. It was blocked off as they had Marsh in the screen taken away by Potvin and away to center ice, where Samuelson digs it away from Trottier. Up ice, broken down by the Islanders, and falling on the puck was Potvin as we get a stoppage of play at the Flyer player bench. That was LaFontaine. 8:34 gone into the third period from the Spectrum. Islanders 2 and the Flyers 1. Goal at 4:23 of this period is second of the night from Maurer and Thomas Janssen, and the Islanders hanging on to that 2-1 lead. Shots in this period, the Flyers have had 7, and the Islanders are already 1, and that was the goal by LaFontaine. Puck cleared off a Flyer side of the net, and Hextall punched it all the way down, and Maurer will go after it along with Janssen, and we get a stoppage and a whistle, and it looks like we're going to get Samuelson off with Bassett.
They've been running at Samuelson all night long. They've really been trying to get him out of the game, it looks like. Every time they get a chance, they take a run at the big Flyer defenseman.
It looks like he's ready to go to the beach.
To the beach.
To the beach with that suntan lotion on his nose. Actually, it isn't suntan lotion, it's adhesive tape.
8:52 the time of the penalty. Samuelson now with 73 minutes on the air, and Bassett, who picked up a misconduct in that second period, now has 64. And the Islanders 15 of the game's 27 penalties.
Bassett picks up a slashing call. Samuelson picks up a holding call. 8:52 the time.
Coincidental minors now skated full strength on the ice. Neither player will return until the first stoppage of play after 2 minutes have elapsed.
2-1, 11:08 remains. They got to get things going here. They have to get some kind of drive. There's been no sustained offense at all for Philadelphia. They haven't been able to get any kind of rebounds. The Islander defense have done a good job of clearing away the front area of that net.
McCrimmon a shot on. Rudy ate it up. Fed off to the far side. Got past Lauer, but LaFontaine up through at center. Picked off by McCrimmon. Turns, but the Islanders quickly 3 men back. Down the right side to Craven, trying to find Eklund. And picked off nicely. It's sent by Leiter to center ice to LaFontaine. Down that left wing into the zone against McCrimmon. Looks to play it in. Controls it right through the goal mouth to the near side on a fine play. Philadelphia recovers it, and it's outlet at center. And there goes Mellenby, tripped up at center as he tried to get it past Leiter. And Gordy Dineen starts away for the Islanders, hits the red line, and rolls it into the corner right of Hextall. Hextall pokes it up on the far side, taken by Eklund. Looks for Craven at center ice, and the Islanders quickly get 4 men back. A wraparound, but Kerr is detained in his pursuit near side. Islanders flatly tries to come out, does, and gives the puck away deep in the Philadelphia zone. Christensen put the hand up for an icing, and John D'Amico said, so the Flyers pick it up behind the net. 10-10 remaining in the period. Pass just up the center ice and kept onside. Left side to Derek Smith. Shot! And just cherry-picking left knee and glove by Rudy. With 10:03 remaining in regulation, 2-1 New York.
That was a great lead pass by Eddie Hospodar that cleared the whole zone and caught Davey Poulin right at center ice with a little flip over to Smith. And he had time to load up the gun, but Rudy, who's played well tonight when he's ever been tested, he's there. Getting a long lead pass all the way up just this side of center ice. Poulin steps back across, picks it up. Little flip in the backhand. Smitty's breaking up the wing, and he just loads up and just unloads a big shot, but Rudy just picks it with his glove. Hangs on, so the rebound will be in the Islanders zone to his right. 10:03 remaining. Islanders lead 2-1.
Well, the scoreboard showed 4-2 Sabres over the Oilers in the third. It changes now to 5-5. Puck out to the point. Howe keeps it in toward the net. Grabbed about waist high by Rudy. Again, the only shot for New York in this period through 10 minutes and 4 seconds of play is LaFontaine's goal. The Flyers have now had 10.
Another meeting of the minds. Shots are relatively easy for goaltenders to handle when you get them up around the knees and the waist. You got to get them lower or higher, and if they're off at the angle, it's even that much more easy. Zuzzle getting a lot of ice time. The Flyers basically going with 2 lines at this point. With so many people out. Lost 2 forwards, as we mentioned, Carson and Tocchet on the forward lines. The Islanders are out with two defensemen.
Yeah, Curran and Conroy going for the night.
Kerr's been able to control Trottier. At least he did yesterday afternoon when they finally switched him to take draws against Trottier. And he's one of the best in the league.
Trottier, Poulin, Derek Smith, Marsh, and McCrimmon. The puck taken by Potvin behind his net. Works out to the left side. Puts it through past Derek Smith to center. McCrimmon back to Kerr. And Kerr is offside. Red Wings at Pittsburgh. That game scoreless in the third period.
The thing that the Islanders have done well tonight, and that's probably a reason, or one of the reasons why it's taken away the fine forechecking game that Flyers usually can have, is that they've really been moving a lot of picks and screens on the players who are trying to get into forecheck. It's illegal, but Dave Newell has not called anything of in that sense tonight. So they'll sit there and block you off and allow that man to come out unmolested.
A play toward the net. LaFontaine is taken out by Hextall. Marsh picks up the loose puck. Looks to play it up the middle and does to McCrimmon down that right side. 4-on-3 into the zone. Over the line. He's got an overload. Smith in, and he missed the shot to the short side. Back to the point as Rudy came way out to cut it off. Now they wind it around to the near side. Marsh blocks it off, kicks it behind the net. Potvin there, harassed by Kerr. Gives it away at the point. McCrimmon's shot is blocked and up into the end seats to the right side of the Islander net. Offensive right circle face-off. Kerr against Brent Sutter, and the Islanders are the better at this time. Puck around behind the Islander net. Philadelphia with Craven, Knockbauer, and Mellenby out. Flyers keep it in. Knockbauer off from Craven, but it's off the stick into the offensive right corner. Mellenby takes a bump from Greg Gilbert, protects the puck out of that offensive corner. Wants to turn in front. Does. Tries to shovel it back to Howe. Howe kicks it away from Brent Sutter to the top of the right circle. Looks toward the net. Drive, and Rudy down low and makes the save. Centering pass. Kicks off a body from the right corner and splits to the Flyer defense and all the way down. Hextall outlets the Howes on. There's a drive through into the zone. Mellenby shot smothered. Offensive right corner. Knockbauer is there in front. Nice job blocking it off by Dennis Potvin, who retrieves and starts away at center ice for the New Yorkers. At the Flyer line and just swept off the stick by Brian Dobbin. Flyers up on the near side. Nobody there except the Islanders. Lauer tries to go in. He stopped LaFontaine to the open left side. Potvin right up the middle. There is Alan Kerr. Shot by Lauer to the outside of the net. Centering pass kicked away by Philadelphia's Craven. And here comes Eklund with 8 minutes left in the period. Third period. 2-1 Islanders to Marsh. Down that right side into the zone. And Potvin with a bouncing puck did a marvelous job of falling rather than trying to play with the stick and have it go past him to Marsh, and Dobbin 2-0. It comes out back in offside. Incredible number of the basic unit that this club was going through the first third of the season. Zezel, Poulin, Kerr, along with McCrimmon and Howe. The Flyers keep it in offensive right corner, but dug out by Janssen all by himself, and he has the option to come around to the right side of the net. Start away to Makula and through at center ice. A play by Brent Sutter into the offensive right corner. Goes to Hextall, pumps it off the board to McCrimmon. He loses a puck and then curls around past Flatley and past Makula and up through. Down the ice, the near side. Morrow had a play. Holds off Poulin, and he still chases Johnson behind the net. Gives him a check. But Janssen tomorrow on a nice unity play up through to center ice with 7:20 remaining in the third period. Flyers down the right side. McCrimmon shot off Rudy's stick, and it caroms off the glass into the seats. And the Flyers with an offensive now shot wide and played around to the far boards to Crom by Rudy. Still up for grabs. Flyers try to keep it in deep. They do. Derek Smith bumps up his man, allowing Eklund behind the net, trying to put it in front, but the Islanders have just been rather flawless tonight, keeping the puck from the slot, keeping the Flyers from working out from behind the net. Now Eklund is right there. Makes a nice move, and he's held and pulled down by Dineen. The Islanders clear, get it, try to come out along the near side and put it up at center, where it's blocked away from Crom by Samuelson, and it caroms off both their bodies into the Islander penalty box, far side at center ice.
But a lot of players out there are double shifting. That can wear on you at the third period.
McCrimmon back into his zone to Daigneault. He's going to be chased. Slaps it up to Craven. Craven looks cross ice and has Dobbin at the Islander line. Picked up by Gilbert. A wraparound that Rudy stops behind the net. Lays off to Potvin. Potvin up on the far side. Gilbert is crunched. Puck goes to the blue line. Daigneault keeps it in. And a nice play, but Gilbert takes it, gives it away to McCrimmon. Slaps it in, offensive right corner. Craven knocks it down. Pulls down Potvin. That could have been a penalty. Centering pass. It eludes two Flyers in front. Nicely set up by Dobbin, and the Islanders clear. But Potvin was mugged at the side of his net, and that left a hole in the Islander defense in front. It was covered.
Islanders get all 5 men back in that zone.
Puck to the point. Daigneault keeps it in. To the near side, tries to kip it in to Poulin. Lost, gotten back, and then hit the referee. That's all the moaning and groaning. Back into the slot, Poulin. To the point, McCrimmon is shot, and that was a rush shot. Not a lot of steam on it. The Islanders fail to clear. McCrimmon at the point. Offensive right corner to Dobbin. Tries to put it through traffic for Craven, and that was an ill-advised play. And back comes Alan Kerr for New York. Crisscrossing with Lauer at the Flyer line. In along the near side. Lauer will follow it up behind the net. Stops away from the check of Daigneault. Now Kerr goes in, but it's Zezel for Philadelphia. Out with the puck on with Seabrook and Kerr. A pass to Kerr at center ice. Reaching for it was the defenseman Janssen, who deflected.
Here at the Spectrum or the Showcase stores or in the Ticketron outlets.
At center, flipped into the zone where Philadelphia takes it off. Out there, Samuelson along with Howe seeing a lot of ice duty. And up up through at center. No play there. The Islanders tap it back the other way. 5:04 remaining, third period. The Islanders lead with a one-shot third period. That was a goal by LaFontaine, and they protected it valiantly. Flyers again, Howe, Samuelson, Kerr, Derek Smith, and Zezel. Howe up through at center ice. Working against 4 Islanders over the line, down that right side against the knee. Back to the point to Samuelson. Tries to shovel it in. Brent Sutter will sit on it. Right inside the line. Mellanby, Eklund, and Poulin. McCrimmon and Howe. Puck at center ice, taken by the Islanders. Nice play by Makela. Coming right out in front, takes a rip at it. And Hextall got it in the crook of the left arm, and an excellent play by Makela, who now falls in the near corner. Shaken up, and he's getting up slowly, but nice gesture by the Finn.
You have to really force yourself to stay on top of everything.
That shot, that little poke by Makela, was the first Islander shot in 9.5 minutes. Flyers penetrate. Craven crosses up the middle. McCrimmon fanned on a one-timer that was beautifully conceived. Now Howe keeps it in down that right side. Into the corner offensively. Puts it behind, cut off by Leiter from Poulin to the point, and the Islanders, Brent Sutter just pivots in his own left side and sends it off the boards up ice. 4:05 remaining third period. That appeared to be a high-powered percentage play, but McCrimmon couldn't get it all, and then the outlet to Mellanby is stolen by LaFontaine, who's been the offensive story for the Islanders tonight. A goal with 8 seconds left in the first, and one with 4 minutes gone here in the third. 2-1 New York. Puck in the Flyers zone, and what do we got?
Two-line pass. Cronk touched that puck, and he shouldn't have.
Late third period from this game for Buffalo in OT to give the Sabres a 6-5 win over Edmonton. Marsh in the zone. Now Eklund trying to protect the puck, was drilled. Kept and lost by Philadelphia's Derek Smith into the neutral zone. To Eklund, he can't control. Nice move by Trottier down the near side. Fights inside Derek Smith. Taken off the puck, and Samuelson flips it into the offensive far corner of the Islanders. Gets it back from Kerr. 3:20 remaining in the Islanders trying to break this run. 3 straight Philadelphia victories after New York and Kelly Rudy beat them 2-1 in New York, and that's the score here. Oddly enough, both games started and held strong by the Islander goaler Rudy. Icing call in the other 3 games in which Billy Smith has started have all been horrors for New York. 6-5, 9-4, and 4-2. I would think Mr. Smith may have seen his last of Philadelphia if Rudy hangs on to this win.
Well, Rudy's played well, Gene, but the Flyers really have not really been able to really penetrate and get the good opportunities. The second and third shots, the defense have played well. They've cleared the Flyers out. But we got plenty of time left here, 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Flyers trail the Islanders 2-1. This will be an important face-off down inside the Islanders zone.
Philadelphia. Of course, we were going to say that the Flyers right now and the injuries and the game misconducts tonight are without Brown, Stanley, Sutter, Cindercello, Propp, Carson, Tocchet, and Crossman. That's 9 regulars.
They won last night.
Yeah, but they had Crossman then and Tocchet and Carson. So they're that's why certainly the offense has to be a little less potent, and why the Islanders are handling them a little better here. Puck shot out the center ice. So we're in the last 3 minutes of regulation. 2-1 Islanders. Puck slap taken away. Shot toward the net as it was given away by Daniel, but he blocked the try by Wayne Sutter, and the Flyers up at center, and they look a little winded now. Zezel's and the props, the Zezel's and Howe have been out there a lot of duty tonight. There's Howe up front. He's playing the forward position. Down to Zezel on the far side. He's by himself. And the Flyers do now look a little tired. At center ice, McCrimmon puts it in, and there's the blue wall. So the Flyers have to jab it in, chase, and it's given away at the point to McCrimmon by Rudy. Poked back around behind the net. Zezel digs it off. Looks, and he had his man, but threw it behind the Seabrook. And out come the Islanders at center ice with Flatley driving it into the offensive corner. Hextall setting it up there for Daigneault with 2:05 remaining in regulation. 2-1 New York. A nice move past LaFontaine by Daigneault, but LaFontaine has the 2 goals that have given the Islanders the lead. There's a giveaway in New York with a 3-on-1 at center ice with just McCrimmon back. They come through Lauer with Allen, and there's LaFontaine in front. Hard pass. He couldn't deflect, trying to get that third and hat trick and clinching goal. In front again, LaFontaine drive. This time deflected by the stick of Daigneault up into the end seats with 1:44 remaining in regulation. 2-1 New York.
The Flyers are...
Mr. Smith has not found the answer to beating the Flyers. All right, the puck is given away to Howe up on the near side. Derek Smith blocks. The Islanders quickly back. Smith at the red line, tries to drive it in, blocked. And and he's knocked down at center. Howe pivots in the neutral zone with 1:30 left. Looks down that right side into the zone. Flyers put it up the middle. It's blocked back to the blue line. Poked away nicely by Brent Sutter at center ice, and Howe is back. And Howe, who needed 1 point over the weekend in either game to get his 1,000th, has not been able to generate that point. It'll come, but he'd like to have it come here in the last minute and 12 of this period as the Flyers trail 2-1, and they cannot get the puck into the New York zone. Fine comeback effort by New York tonight after getting blitzed at home 4-2. Last minute of play in regulation. Hextall is looking. Puck to the blue line, and it slides past Samuelson. We're down to 50 seconds remaining in regulation. Flyers turning. Craven up on the far side. He'll dump in if he can to the near side, but offside as he waited too long, and then Kerr, looking for the dump, went in. The faceoff will come outside the Islander line with 43 seconds remaining. And up front, Wayne Sutter, Trottier, and Richie Crom. Puck taken at the blue line. A real scrum there. Shot in, and they all chase. Rudy will set it up. Morrow will wrap around to the near side. 2 Islanders here. Kicks away and set all the way down wide of the open net, but that'll be an icing. And that's the one break as it's touched up by Zezel with 28 seconds left in regulation. So the Flyers saw 15 seconds tick off, but they gained the pressure. Kerr against Brent Sutter. Kerr will try to get it back to Zezel. And Brent Sutter will try to get it back into his own right corner, where the Island, right there, where Potvin will try a wraparound, broken up by Philadelphia in front. Knocked down, they shovel at it, and there's too much humanity, and then it's kicked off the side of the net. We get a stoppage of play. Poulin kicked it trying to get it in front, and now the clock shows 20 seconds remaining. Man at the top of the left circle. Kerr tries to get it back to him. It goes back to the Island in the corner. Put out in front. Centered by Dobbin, went off the side of the net. Back to the blue line. Sent toward the net, and we get a whistle. They said it came out over the line with 10 seconds remaining. It appeared as if the Flyers had kept it in, and now the task becomes infinitely more to play at center ice. Open net. It goes in, and the Islanders are going to win this one as Brent Sutter drove it in from center ice at 19:55, and the Islanders come up strong in the third period at Philadelphia with 2 goals. The goal at 19:55, Islanders 3 and the Flyers 1. Face off, kicked out, and Sutter right at the red line, put it right in on net, and it gives him number 23. 19:55, the time of the score. So it will not be a 1-goal loss at home for Philadelphia, and the Flyers finally are touched for an empty net goal. Final score, the New York Islanders 3 and the Philadelphia Flyers 1. The Flyers had 11 shots in that last period, a game total of 28, and the Islanders had 3. They scored on LaFontaine's goal. With 5 minutes left, they got another, and then the empty net goal by Brent Sutter. The penalties in the third period, 2 out of 3 to New York. They had 15 of the game's 27. Philadelphia 1 for 6 on the power play. That might have been a big difference. The Islanders 0 for 3. But for once, it is the Flyers who are bested in the third period. 3-1 New York as we go down to Lou Nolan for tonight's 3 stars.
Star number 2 from New York, goalkeeper Kelly Rudy. And tonight's first star from New York with 2 goals, Pat LaFontaine.
LaFontaine, Rudy, and Eklund, the 3 stars. So that's it.